Okay, guys, welcome. We are back with Kerbal Space Program. The main reason actually is because it's 75% off at the moment. So if you don't have it, grab it. It's a great little game. It's actually it's really improved. Actually, so I was reading up about it. Actually, it's I think since the Artemis launch, just like a couple of months ago, it's actually got people really interested in space again. And KSP2 was such a disappointment that people are going back to KSP1, and then there's all these mods and that the modding community has now become a lot more active again. So it's very interesting. Where we left off last time, we've actually now got 71 science. We're doing well with our science in through here. Mission-wise, what do we have? We've got no contracts. Okay, so we can go and get whatever we want. First Kerbal in space. We might start to actually a few little announcements about the game. First one is, it's of course 75% off right now. I'm not sure when that will finish. When will that finish? And then we've still got all of this now. To get a Kerbal into space, we need to have a capsule. Do we have a capsule there? Maybe there. That won't be it either. I don't think we've got any capsules so far. Heavy rocketry, propulsion, fuel, landing. There we go, simple command modules. So we'd need to come this way. Now this one's 45, I've only got 71, so we're still a little way off getting Kerbal noughts back up into space. Enhanced survivability back in through here again. It's more heat shields and things. I may need to go for other things other than that, actually. What else do we have down here? This is basic science. This, I think, would be where we go, so just so we can sort of get more and more science before we can get into space. But we have a exciting update. If we go to the astronaut complex, you'll see we have Supreme Plague Kerman and Sick Kerman back in through here. The pilot, so this has replaced Jebediah and also Bill, I think it is, that was the first engineer. So these are I can rename these. So if you are wanting to have a Dazdemption run, they are available because we do actually have them now. We can sort of bring them back in or bring them into different missions. I found out how I can actually rename these. It's a bit convoluted, but I can actually get it done. So if you are looking for a named Kerbal nought, once we sort of do get into space, then definitely can do that. And Sick and Supreme Plague did both actually redeem that. So that is operational. Now, what we might do is let's just go back and get even more science. I'm not going to worry too much about the missions. I will do them, but not religiously. Not if we've got sort of like the basic science. What does this one give us? Got a camera. Don't know if that will actually do much. We've got the Probodyne Hex. This is a what is a six-sided future casting? Yeah, there's a probe core. Okay, then we've got the Science Junior, which is good. The experiment storage unit, radiator panels. Right, so help dissipate heat into space. Not really all that needed. Another one there as well. I mean, it will be needed, but just not yet. High gain antenna. Are we really getting much? Unmanned experiments slot upgrade. So adds an additional experimental slot to probes and mystery goo capacity upgrade. Yeah, we don't really need any of those, do we? We've sort of got the actual science we're going to be getting from this. What this one is, we've already got our basic science back into here. Like we've got the Geiger counter, for example. Nothing in there. We did get some basic things. There's a mystery goo container there. What it does mean is that we can do more goo stuff when we're in space. We also have the thermometer there. So we're still doing things. I wonder if I'm really not sure. Maybe we'll just keep on doing a few more missions until we get this up to, well, if we've got 45, we need to be at least at 90. And what's this one here going to cost? Another 90 on top. Well, to get this one here where we can actually get Kerbal noughts into space, that would be probably, might even just go that way. So enhanced survivability is going to give me more drogue chutes and things, and also the heat shields. So we do get the basic stuff there, but then we've also then got this advanced rocketry to get these other fuel tanks and things. And we've got the Terrier liquid fuel engine, which would be great for getting into orbits and stuff. Actually, that would be ideal. Yeah, we can still do stuff down in here. Suitability, yeah, survivability there. Actually, we've got the barometer there as well. Okay, so that's... Yeah, okay. Well, I don't think we need to really worry too much about what we're doing here at this point in time. It might be let's just get up to 90, and then we'll sort of look at getting a couple of these things, and then maybe go for another 90 after that. Hi Stormworm, how you going? Thanks for the subscription. That is very much appreciated. Let's get back out of the facility there and go back into the mission control. So explore the moon with a probe, explore Minmus with a probe. So what do we get with this? We get a lot of science anyway by doing these sorts of missions. Exploring the mun with a probe is actually not too difficult, I don't think. What we might do is, let's just go back and, yeah, this is all. So we've got part testing. We do have satellites. So position the satellite in geosynchronous orbit of Kerbal. How high do we have to get? An apoapsis of 3,000 meters and a periapsis of 2,300 and an inclination of 25. We're going to need a lot of power to do that. Now this one gives me only 8 there, but we'll then be able to pick up a lot of stuff, like a hell of a lot of stuff. We're almost there actually. Got all this different part testing as well, which we haven't really done. I've got halls in there, test heat shield in flight over Kerbal. This one here we have to be a long way up and travelling very, very fast. So some of these are quite difficult. So test the heat shield. So we just need to have perform this test, run the test option when all the conditions are met. And all we have to do is just that's an easy one. So let's go and smash this one out. Go and throw that one into the objectives that we actually have, and test the J Juno basic jet engine. That's a jet engine. We're not going to be able to do that one. This is the Mark II. Actually, I hope I've got that. The 1875. At least I can get it. I know I can get that one. Then we've got the radial mount parachute, which we don't actually have either. And again, this one is very, very. We have to be at low speed before we can do that. And 2,000, that would be, if we've got that one. Now we do actually have the hammer. This one here, I think we were trying to do this one. No, we weren't, because we would have grabbed it. We've got a few of these little things. Radial decoupler, splashdown. So we have to be splashdown and then test the radial decoupler, which is actually a bit more difficult than it first appears. But it's sort of it's not terrible for us to do that one either. How long have we got? We've got 3 hours to do that one, 1 day to do that one, 1 day to do that one, 1 day to do that one. So this is the flea. 3 hours to do this flea one. So we need to be very high altitude, traveling at pretty high speed. To perform this test, activate the part through the staging sequence when all conditions are met. Okay. I might give that one a crack as well, just because we're running out of time. When's this one? This one's a day as well. So we've got a lot that are just in a day's time. But this one here will expire if we don't do it. How long have we got on this one? 3 days. Let's give this one a go as well. So we can do the first one very, very simply. So I'm saying this game is too big brain for me. Mostly just enjoy watching things crash. Yeah, no, it's an interesting game. Like, it's actually a game that really gets you in. Like, it's sort of, I think I'm average at it. Like, when I sort of look at other people who play in that, but like, it's sort of, I'm not great at it. Well, let's go and test this first one. So if we go and have a look at the at the contracts. Test the heat shield, the 1875. Do we have that one? There it is there. Just throw that underneath there. And so that's all we have to do is just be at the launch site and just test it. Let's give it a go. Then we can get something else to do. I won't try to combine things, I don't think. I think I'll just do each one of these one at a time. And run test. That should be all we need to do there. Okay, then we'll just go back up into here, recover the vessel. It took mere seconds to do. So mission summary. So we do pick up this bits and pieces. So we've got all that funding back from what we got. That should then be at mission control. Yeah, we've still got. So we've got. We're now up to 72. Just go back to all, and we'll just go back to part testing again. These here are just these don't expire. So we've got the as we go through these, we can do these whenever we feel like. It's just these little ones initially that are wanting to be getting the part testing and stuff, just so I can get hold of it. Now these, some of these, when's this one? This one's 1 day away. The decoupler, I don't think with the flea one, we have to be at a very, very high altitude, traveling at a reasonable speed, and this will take a little bit of pushing back and forwards here a little bit just to sort of get this one to work. I mean, it's almost, we do get a little bit of science from doing this stuff. This radial decoupler. Which one do we want to do? That one's, we've got to be traveling really fast for this one here. And this is the TD6 decoupler into flight above Kerbal. Again, hardly any science. It's just the speed is really, really fast. We should be able to do that. Let's give that a go. The flea, even if we do them separately, this one then has to go a long way up and then lose a lot of... so we've got the decoupler here. Let's go and do this one and then just literally slow right down. So have the TD decoupler. Now it says, yes, it needs to be at Kerbal flying, altitude of 27, but traveling very, very fast. I think we can do that one. So let's go and throw that one into the mix. And we could probably do them, try both of those together at the same time. Let's get out of here, go back to the VAB, and we'll just try to sort of figure out what we need to do here for each of these. Now, this little octo, do we need that? I do want to try to rescue it, so it's a good one to bring back down for rescuing. So as it comes back, for the payloads, we do have a service module there. Service bay with the explosive doors do not open by hand. So this one is, that will give me, I don't know if I can actually, can I open it? No, it's, not sure what we get for that. There's nothing in it. So I think it's just, I don't think it does much. Aerodynamics back in through there, we don't need at this stage. Thermal, I will actually just put in, we did actually pick up that extra part for that test run. I'll throw that into there. We'll just go back to the parachutes. Well, that's interesting because the other experiments we didn't actually end up with the having what we needed to get back down again. Now we're going to be traveling into space yet again, but not into orbit. Yeah, I don't need any of those. These are IVA type stuff, which we don't really need. Cargo, science. I mean, we sort of do want to have science on different bits and pieces. Yeah, so I might... I've got a feeling that we've actually sort of done everything we needed to anyway, to be honest. If we have a quick look at the... this is the science stuff that we've actually done. So if we go down to, these are, this is quite cool the way this one does work. So this is like our science archive. So we can have a look to see what we can still do. If we go to the mystery goo, we don't have anything else we can do, either flying low or landed. What I can do though is I can do this one flying high. So we might, these are the situations: landed, splashed, flying low, flying high, space low, space high. So we could actually still put this on and pick up, stuff further up. So maybe we'll do that. Let's just go and throw a mystery goo container onto the side of the ship. Just in there, say. And I'll grab a battery as well. Where are we? Battery, that will be electrical. Now this one here, this battery pack here, gives me 200, this only gives me 100, and I'm better off grabbing that battery pack, putting that under there, and then actually putting this underneath that. So that's going to give me power. We don't need to, that'll be enough power to run what we have to run. We have to get back down, so there's no point trying to sort of push this thing off into other things. If we have a look at other things that we can actually then go and do, the temperature scans, we've still got a little bit we can do here with temperature. Actually, sorry, is that... I'll throw a temperature gauge on as well, in that case. I'll throw if I'm reading that correctly or not. Hi, Sick, how you going? So we've got that one on. I need to sort of try to get a few different things around the outside here. The barometer, where's that? Atmospheric pressure scans. There's still things we can do, but these are over different areas, which are not really going to be where we need to go. I mean, it says flying high, flying low, over different areas. I'll put one on, and that way we can just sort of at least have it there. We don't have action groups yet. I think we actually end up getting those. We have to actually get those. Someone was saying the other day ourselves. And have we got anything else? We've got the Geiger counter. If you have a quick look and see what we can do through here as well. So we've got science experiments, immediate period, history goo, radiation scan. Got a few of these we can do as well. All right, so I'll just grab that. I might throw another battery in. An extra battery. All right, so that will be the probe that we actually have. So we'll leave that one on there. I will be wanting to run these pretty much all the time, so I'm just going to go and I just have them waiting, everything just to be waiting, just so that if we do find stuff, it will then just do it. We have to be like more so than the actual normal game. Actually, that's already running. That's okay. All right, so that's done for that one. Then we're going to need to activate the flea. Let's just go back through to what we end up needing to do. So the flea needs to be. This is a test the solid fuel booster. The flea flying at a high rate and high speed. So we're going to need to have this one somehow activating the flea. So let's do that with the engines. Thumper, shrimp. Which one's the flea? There it is there. Solid fuel booster. Okay, that's bigger than I thought it was. We'll need a decoupler. So we have that decoupler there. Do we have a... I don't have a shroud. Or not a shroud, I forget what they're called, where we sort of hook them over the top of the craft. I do have this adapter. I might just... well, we're going to be wanting to... we need to decouple to this thing. I think I'll just get some, like this adapter here. There's hardly any weight in that, but that will then just at least make it look better and will be a bit more It's funny how much the aerodynamics does actually really, really impact the flight of the craft. So that flea has to be activated. Now, when that activates, I really don't need it going anywhere. So I'm just going to do the thrust limiter down very, very low. Let's just say down to, say, 10. And I can basically get rid of nearly all the fuel. In fact, I can get rid of... I'll just leave a little bit there just in case we needed to do something with that one. But that's our experiment, so we need to activate that one. We'll just go back to decoupling it there again. And so this is then attached. So we've got the parachute, that decoupler, the test fire the engine. So we need to do that one through the staging process. So, and then we've got another decoupler here. And then we need to be traveling at, look, we need to get right up into the, so this, we need to hold a TD06, which is this one here. When is this one? How do we do this one here? This one needs to be at, traveling very, very fast at 27,000. All right, in that case, I will have to put that up here, I think. So we'll need to, what we'll need to do here is actually activate the flea engine, but we'll have to do this one on the way back, I think. I don't think I can actually activate that one and get that one going. So this, the TD06 needs to be, we need to be coming back down at high speed. That should be okay, I think, if we can, so we might even put the flea so we end up with a bit more fuel here. Let's just go for, say, 70, and we'll just get our thrust limiter up to, say, about 40%, just so we can get sort of like a fair bit of height. So let's just have half the fuel, half, like, 40% thrust. That's all going to be okay, I think. The part is new. This should then get us a fair way up. Now all we need to do is just get to the point where we're activating this at like, so a long way up, but it's at 460 meters per second. So, which is fairly fast. We could just use thumpers for that. So we've got the radial decoupler there. Then we've got the other engine. So we do have a big thumper there, which we could just see how that one goes. If we give that a go, even just with what we actually have, if we have a quick look at this one here, we've got the, I'll put this one down to, say, 50% as well. Wish there was a cleaner way to do this. There's no, is there a shift? Does that do anything? Control, Alt? No. You've got to just finesse it in. There we are. I'll keep all of the fuel on this one, and we'll just sort of let this one go. Aerodynamics, we'll just go and get the basic fin, and I will just come back into here, and we'll just go and set, what is it, X is it? Yeah, X 4 times, and then we just Alt click this one, and then come back up the craft. I'll just put another group of fins just on this piece as well, just to try to keep that one stable as we sort of go back up. All right, there we go. I think we're ready. Now we have, it's a bit hard to sort of tell what's going to happen with the Kerbal engineer stuff in through this other side, but our thrust to weight ratio is going to be fine. So 5, and then with the flea is only 1.6, but that's going to be fine as well. All right, let's just give this one a go and see how we end up going with it. Go back to the launch pad. So, so Shulkauer is saying, "Are you an engineer?" No, I'm not qualified to do this. Just going to press the stabilizer. I didn't put a reaction wheel in. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go back to revert flight, back to the VAB, and what we'll then go and do is just go and set up a reaction wheel back up in the top here. These have got a small reaction wheel safety running 10. Yeah, this is like the safety ratings on some of these things. The reaction wheel is back in through there as well, but it's not enough for these. So we'll just go back across to robotics, structural. Where is the command and control? There's an inline reaction wheel there. I'm going to throw that. I don't need it to come back down with the craft, but I might as well try to rescue it if I can. Just hope that the weight isn't too much at the bottom here. I hope it doesn't flip us around. I do want to still be coming in with this heat shield. Hi Rangtang, saying this is what you get when an artist tries to land on the moon. There we are. Yes. Okay, so let's go out this time. Reaction wheel will allow us to maneuver a lot more effectively as we sort of launch. And I'm just going to launch straight up because I want the high speed coming down. I'm not trying to get into orbit here. So everything is sort of running. I'll just press T, which gives me the SAS back over through this other side. So we start off with this one, stage to there. Then we need to be going at a fair speed. So let's just go and have a look at the... we'll keep the contracts open on the side here. So we're only going at 50% thrust here. Now, I'm interested to also see if the reaction wheel can stop the aerodynamics that's sort of kicking in through this other side. Now, we're not going anywhere near fast enough at this point. So I can change the thrust back in the VAB. So we need to be going for testing the first one. We might. Oh, we've still got a long way to go. We're only 10% of the way there, and we need to be travelling at 460 ultimately by the time we do this. So we're still not travelling fast enough. We're halfway through our fuel. Actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. Look at this. We're getting the aerodynamics, and we have got it fairly. It is fairly aerodynamic with what we've actually built, and it's actually working well. Now, heat is going to be another problem. So we want to be a fair way up before the heat kicks in. I think we might have lucked out here. The overall speed now is way now. Here comes the heat effects, and we're at 29. We're at 30,000, and we're now out of fuel. Let's ditch this bottom stage because we just need to get our staging for the flea in here. We're at the right height, but we're travelling too fast. Okay, we're travelling way too fast. Or in that case, we need to come back. Now, and also the staging that we've got. Yeah, that's for testing on the way back. I mean, we could do the test for when we're coming back down again. It failed to ignite, so we did actually have a failure there anyway. Just ditch that piece. And we'll just see if we can actually get the speed up for this experiment here. And so the next one is the one that we can then test for the TD06. So we have it. We've lost the flea. Now we should still be doing experiments as well. It's now stopped. It's already got what it needed. Invalid situation there. Waiting. It's got nothing. The goo. Yep, no more storage space. So again, bringing this down should give us a little bit of extra stuff there as well. Collected. I think we have to just get back down. So we're a long way up. Now this is a very, very specific speed that we need to be traveling at. We've probably gone too high. We were going too fast when we actually hit the other staging. I'll just speed up time. Now we're coming back down again. So we now hit the orbital. We need to be traveling between 27,000 and 3,700. We are picking up speed here. The reaction wheel will also help keep everything sort of stable. We're actually getting to, and I just need to get ready to do the staging. I need 2 ticks in here. I think we might be too slow. This is going to turn on very, very soon. We might get fast enough. That's right now, but this is not right. I need to wait for this to kick in. No, we're not going to do it. We're not going anywhere near fast enough. No, so we're now out of there. Let's just ditch that last little piece. It's got hooked up in something. There we go, got rid of it. Okay, we'll now just come back and try to just do the splash down in through here. We will be bleeding off there's all the cities, so we're going to be coming back down this way. The parachute, we need to be travelling, the parachute is now available for us. I will actually pop this in when we hit about 5 kilometres up. This will then slow us right down. We're travelling now nice and slow. There we go, parachute up. That way we'll still hopefully get back with a little bit of stuff. And also the flea, we did test the flea. We're not bringing it back down with us, but we did test it there, which means that it's going to be a bit more reliable the next time we do it. Let's just speed up time a little bit. There's the parachute. And we did drop down into the edge of some city. There's a space station over there. All right, this is reasonably effective. So we weren't traveling fast enough for this one. And if I had have ditched, I might get 2 decouplers, just so I can actually ditch the bottom thing, because the bottom thing will slow us down as well. Like it's not aerodynamic. Here comes the terrain, so we'll just let that one go. So we failed in both instances, but we still do get, oh, there goes a piece from that was still up there. What did we let go of? There was something we decoupled at one point. Okay, here we come. I'll just go back down to speed number 1. So there we go. So we'll just go and recover the vessel, and hopefully we do pick up a bit of science for this one. Now, again, I just mentioned at the very, very start through here, we've got 77. I don't think we picked up much there at all. Mystery goo, hardly anything. This is just on top of what we currently, yeah, we picked up 5.5 science. It's still some science. The parts, we pick up all the stuff that was on the satellite. All right, so now were we travelling too fast we were travelling too fast, weren't we, by the time we actually got up there? So I can change a few things here. I can change the what we have. Well, one thing I will change, just press shift and scroll wheel in. I'm going to put a second decoupler here. So we'll throw another decoupler, just so I can test that one, and then ditch all this stuff as we sort of are coming back in. Now they're both going at the same time, so I'm just going to go and add another one in there and just drag that bottom one, just so I can do, so I can ditch this thing here slowed us down. I could have turned the ship around and actually, and then use the aerodynamics from the top of the ship to actually try to get some speed up. That may still be okay, but that's not going to really do much. It just gives me 2 decouplers there. We have this decoupler here as well, just to decouple the that one. Do I even need that? I probably don't even need that decoupler, to be honest. Let's just ditch this whole bottom section. So that will be one section. So we've got decouple there. I'll decouple that one off away from the flea, which we still need to be testing. And then we've got the decoupler there from the thumper. Now the thumper is, at the moment we've got it travelling, the thrust limiter is 50. Now that was, the speed was actually not too bad. It was actually, what I'm going to do is I'll bring it down to say 40 and just see how that one works. This is a 40% thrust. The flea, I think as far as we can get it up into space, to be honest. So I think I'll keep the flea well, actually, it failed. So we'll see if we can get the speed up. So we'll just leave it where it is. All right, everything else is looking pretty good there. No, we're hardly getting any science. We're sort of really going to have to go somewhere else. So Bob is saying, why are you doing this to solid boosters? Mainly, like at the moment, I can control them fairly well, just through what we're doing, and we're literally just trying to get very, very specific things in through here. So I don't want to be relying on my own skills at all to do this. One thing, if I'm going too fast when I'm not going fast enough, I mean, it's one of these things where if I can control one thing, I can just change the thrust here, and then hopefully it'll just work. So let's just go back out again to the launch. We also have the now that we've brought the flea back, it should now be more stable this next time. Let's have a look at our contracts. So press T and we'll get going again. So we're now travelling slower yet again with the thumper. I don't want to go too much faster than what I was because we were getting heat effects at one point. It's nice and stable, like the fins are doing a good job. And remember, guys, if you don't have KSP, like KSP1, don't bother getting number 2, but this is 75% off at the moment, which is probably the main reason I thought I should actually do this again. And we do actually have Dasdemption running on this one now, so both Sick and Supreme Plague have got characters waiting to go as soon as we can get some manned flights, which I will be sort of aiming for. We'll need to get some more science. And we'll probably get that one through, maybe even travelling to the Mun with a probe initially. And then we'll have to try to get some Kerbal noughts into space. That will give us a big boost to science as well, I think. Now we're not really travelling fast enough. The solid fuel booster here is okay. We need to get, for the flea to kick in, we need to be at 45,000 to 50,000, travelling at 460. Now we're only just travelling now at the 460, and we're only 13 kilometres up, so I don't think we're going to be fast enough. So I may need to put some more juice into this thumper, but I haven't had to do anything just yet. Now we're travelling at 800. We are now picking up speed a lot. Now we took it from 50 to 40. Let's just see what happens here. We're now travelling well and truly over the speed we need to be travelling. And actually this one may be okay. We might come back. We may even be going too fast, which means we could actually then we're now orbital. We're heading towards orbits. Now we need to get to 45. The speed is still too fast. And as soon as that one goes off, yep, well, we're out of there. Okay, let's go back to revert flight. So we're actually traveling too fast. We need to be a little bit under that. So if we revert back to the VAB, I'm just going to drop the amount of fuel we have in the thumper just down a little bit to say, maybe down to say 80%. Let's try that. Let's see how we go. Yeah, so with the solid boosters, it allows me to do exactly what I just did there. Now these have become quite reliable because we're using them so often. So this one, you can see it's actually traveling faster already at the very, very start because there's less fuel, but we have less fuel to burn. So just hoping that we can manage that speed by the time we get to 45,000. So we may have a few reverts here. It's funny, last time we were playing it, because we're playing with Kerbalism, which is a very difficult realism mod, which sort of changes things a lot. See this, we're down to 50% fuel. So we're going to have less weight to push, which means we'll be traveling faster, but with less fuel to burn. So we should, by the time we actually hit 45,000, hopefully we'll be under under 600 meters per second. So the final mission goal in career mode, I'm not sure actually. I mean, there's all the different bodies around Kerbin. We're travelling at the right speed now, but only at 12,000, and we're still picking up this very, very fast speed. So we're over what we need to be, like a long way, and we're at 23,000. So we're still going to now we've just got to bleed off the speed. So we'll just let that actually happen. It's a bit hard to see the ship, but I've sort of got to do things within hours for getting the different boosters. Now this is looking good. Oh, is it still too fast? It may still be too fast. 600. It is coming under, and we are hitting the right number. I'm looking for the next little tick. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, got it. Did it. Okay, we got this one here. Now, we're now boosting the flea, and so the flea has now become a bit more reliable as well. So there's our test done for the flea, and the flea has now gone up, and we're now pushing way up into the sky. I can then undo this one. Now we need to be trying to be traveling at a very fast speed coming back. We were too slow last time. I'm going to disengage here. Let's get rid of that little part of it, and then we're just really going to have to just hope that we're going to be able to do this one nice and easy as we sort of as we come back in with the actual craft itself. So we'll just go and we're out of the atmosphere, so let's just now speed up time a little bit. So we're still traveling pretty quickly, but we now should be going higher than what we were before, and we need to hopefully test this one. Hopefully we're not going to be burning too much. Now we're coming back down again. So we're now sort of descending. When we hit 70,000, it will then just go down to speed 1. There it is there. And we'll just now monitor this. So we're traveling, we're still picking up speed. I need to be going between 1400 and 1800. And we are getting there, but we're still 50,000 up. It will sort of stabilize a little bit around these sort of numbers. There it goes. We've got the heat. We're going well here, and we're there, going well there. I did it wrong. I did it wrong. I did it wrong. Whoops. Yep, we now just got the parachute. I screwed that one up. I could have actually done that one too, damn it. You can do an F5 and do a quick save, and that's what I should have done. Oh, hang on, I didn't mean to do the parachute. Anyway, that's popped too high. But it won't matter. Speed up time till we get back down again. At least we got the flea done. So the parachute is now spread. So come back down with all this stuff again. So we got the flea booster. We just and I chickened out. I chickened out. We're at 1300, and I thought we were there, but I've really just got to look at these ticks. So we're sort of close. Where's KSP? Not seeing it there. Anyway, at least we get this one. And recover vessel. All right, so we picked up 3.6 science. We're now up to 84 science. Just go next. I do want to get to 90. We've got those funds from the recovered parts. So we'll just go back to mission control and see if there's anything else that we can do. The manned orbit is now on the cards, but we actually don't have the, we don't have enough here yet. I need another 40, I need another 50 basically to be able to then go and do it. So that's all I'll just go back to all again. So the part testing is simple. Everything's satellites. Yeah, we need to get into a Kerbal synchronous orbit. Part testing is still happening in through here. This radial decoupler, the hammer, solid fuel booster in flight. What do we need to be doing here? We need to be travelling slowly to then test this one here. We need to be travelling between 50 and 210 at low altitude. We can do that one pretty easily. Let's go and just do this one here now, just to try to pick up. We're not getting much science from any of these. If we can go and get the bigger one, it's just that we don't have a lot of time. So we've still got this one here. We've only got, oh, actually, no, that's now gone way over. So I don't have to do that one. This one's the decoupler. Oh, that's the offer expires. Yeah, this one, we've got to do that within a certain time frame. Want to haul the D12 into flight above Kerbal. This one, again, we have to be traveling pretty fast. Altitude between 40 and 46, traveling. We can do that one as well. That's actually not too difficult to do that one. Hardly anything though. We don't get much for that. I think we'll go back and let's just do some of the harder ones. So if we go into position satellite, if we do this geosynchronous, we get 8 there. The achievement records, first Kerbal in space, we can't do that one just yet. Explore the Mun with a probe. We pick up a lot of science with this one, if we can do all of this stuff. This is worth a lot to us. Now, this one here, we have to land on the Mun. This will be I think we'll put this one off for now. In the Minmus, we have to do the landing on the Minmus as well. So it's not just a matter of testing it. Having said that, we can do a lot of get a lot of tech just by doing some orbits and coming, even just doing orbits and sending it all back, all the records back home. We might even just ignore these missions and just do our own. We don't have to do it to pick up the science. These are just bonuses, really. So, satellites, but we could do this one here, this geosynchronous. It's a long way up. I think I might do this one. We pick up a little bit here, but this is also then going to end up with this, and I'm going to try, actually no, we have to be on a very, very special incline, 25.8 degrees. So I will do this one here. So we'll just go and grab that one. Now, we're going to set this one up so it can do constant science. And so this will be an important one for us. I would like to get the other one, but I just think it's, just so we got it cleared out, so we can just do, but we'll just do one difficult one each time. Let's go and do this one here. So we need to be a long way up. Let's go into the VAB. Let's just start from scratch. Oops, hang on. Always press the control. It's the shift that I want. Throw that one over there. So we'll start off with a Probione Octo and just zoom in, and we'll just sort of set up our actual probe itself. So we just need to get into a geosynchronous orbit around, or geosynchronous orbit is what they call it here. So we're going to need a fair few different things. Now I don't need to come back down with this, so I don't need a parachute. So I'm just going to go across to aerodynamics and put a nose cone on. That's too big. That'll do. So we'll just go and throw that one on top. Then for the science experiments, there's certain things like the goo is no point putting the goo in there, but certainly getting other aspects would be good. Let's go and put first of all some solar panels on it. So we just go across to electrical. I'm just going to press X. So we'll pop those on. We're going to need to have a battery as well. Just one battery will be enough. Throw that one underneath there. So that will be, and also we're then going to need to be able to just maneuver this one, just very, very fine maneuvering. So we'll go back and place I don't need to detach this. So I will just go straight to a fuel tank. And we want something fairly small, like just this little Oscar will be fine. And if we have a look at the engines that we have, These are all way too big. Actually, what I might do is I might just go and get a small engine anyway. Let's just save and continue. So we'll come back to this one because I'm going to need to go back into here. To do this one with any sort of finesse, what do we have in here? Advanced rocketry. This one gives me the little Terrier, which is good. We get little fuel tanks in through here as well. And we also then get these Thud liquid engines as well. So these are all stuff that will be helpful. There's no real rocketry back in through here. There's a flag that we can have if we wanted it, but we don't need it. Aviation, this is more for aircraft, so that's not really going to help us much. Flight control, now we do actually have, these are RCS thrusters, so we're not going to need them for what we're doing, but certainly when we come to land on the Mun, we will need that one. This one here is just going to be more parachutes and heat shields. We need that though to get the Kerbal noughts. And yeah, space exploration. What do we end up with there? We've got different. This is more sort of sciencey type stuff. But again, we're not going to need it. We're not going to get what we need from that one through there. Now this one is propulsion systems. This one here for 45. We're at 84 now. I'm going to go and grab this one. So we'll just do this research. This thing gives me all of these bits and pieces. Now these also haven't been tested properly, so so these will fail at different times. And we'll just go back out. So I've still got 39, not enough to get anything else just yet. But after we do this one here, we're going to then have a fair bit of science. So we come back in, the engines that we now have, we've now got the Terrier, which is still big. They're all big engines. But the Terrier is a smallish engine. So what I'll do is I will ditch this and we'll go and for command and control, I do want to have another reaction wheel. So I'll throw that one up there. A lot of the stuff that we see in here relies on actually we need to also then get the Communicatron aerial. And we've got a Communicatron 8, we've got a 16. I'll grab this one here and we'll just pop this one on the side. So if I just press the A key, actually it's not the A key, it's the Q. I'll just have it so it's sort of pointing straight up. And I will go and get, well the temperature scans aren't going to matter much. The science, we don't have a hell of a lot of science we can put on this. I'll put a thermometer on. Put a Geiger counter on as well. These aren't going to do much, but I'll still chuck them on. Just so we've got science experiments that we can then go and do. And the barometer not really going to do anything. This is a this one here is like a recorder that allows us to store more information. I will go and throw that one on. Actually, it's a bit big, but that's still going to be okay. I'll throw that on there. If we go back into the actual probe itself, I'm just going to go and set the probe up to be able to take a lot of the data. So if we go into here, this is a data capacity. Let's go and get 4 megabytes of data capacity there. And similarly in here, another 2 megabytes there for that space computer. The Communicatron simulate transmitter. I'll just go yes, that's going to be fine. So in this case, we've got power generation, power storage, reaction wheels, way to communicate stuff back down to Kerbal, and storage for the data in between the actual Communicatron. We'll set this one up. It should be able to do it automatically, where we end up just sort of automatically transferring, but we'll do that once we get up into space. Next thing we need is a so we just go and get structural, get this adapter. This then takes us back out into the into those different rocket engines that we actually have. In this case, we'll just go back into the fuel tanks, and that will be enough, and then we'll just go and get the Terrier from the engines, and this should be enough to then push us around into the different orbits. The Terrier, like these different things are going to have, just to go through how this one works as well, if you're sort of not familiar with the game. There's a lot going on in here. So if we have a look at this one, I've just right-clicked on it so we pick up this other information. So in space, you need to actually have a way to burn oxygen as well as fuel. So you need liquid fuel and liquid oxidizer. So we've got that for this particular engine. It's telling us that we've got both of those. Then we've got the thrust. So the thrust is either in a vacuum or at surface level. So you've got atmospheric surface level there, and it's only 14 kilonewtons, but it's 60 kilonewtons once it actually gets into a vacuum. So it's actually got more thrust in a vacuum. And then the really important thing here is this engine ISP. This is the I forget what ISP actually stands for, but essentially it's the efficiency of the engine. So when it's low, like at ASL, it means it's not very good to use in the atmosphere, but at 345 it's good in a vacuum. Now if we have a look at the other engines as well, and you have a look at the ISP there, it's got 265 and 310. So this one is actually good on the atmosphere as well as in space, but this one is even better in space. It just means we get more from it, and this one as well is pretty good at atmosphere, but also reasonably good in the vacuum. But this is still our better engine. It's got the vacuum. The ISP in a vacuum is 345, which makes it more efficient for what we need to then go and do. This is what we'll use to do the final staging to get it into the orbits that we actually require. So that's just going to be for the final positioning of the actual of what we have. So this will be our actual satellite. So we'll keep it so that we can always just come back in and get it to then redo different things. If we then need to decouple from this one, so if we go back across to the decouplers and the TD12s, so that's our first stage, the rocket, the decoupler in our staging back over this other side. Now we don't have much bigger rockets than what we have in through here, but we need to get a fair way up. So I'm going to go and now set up a whole lot of different fuel tanks. This is my bigger fuel tanks. I'll get 3 of those. Now what we need to look at here is when I put the next engine in is the thrust to weight ratio. So we need to go back into our engine. So the best one for traveling from the surface is actually the Reliant, but it's got 200. This is actually my better engine. So this one's got 200 thrust in the over here, we've got 205 thrust at surface level, which is sort of what we are going to be using this one for, just to sort of get us up as high as we possibly can. Now this one, is this vectoring? This is actually another important component. I've got a feeling that this one doesn't vector. That swivel does. This one here, if I go and click on that one and then, hang on, come on, keep that open. When we have a look down through this other side, we've got reliabilities back and through there again as well. And the more we use an engine, the more stable it will then become. This one doesn't have gimbaling. Gimbaling is how we then can sort of point. If I go to this one here, you see it's got an alternator in through there, which means it recharges. They've all got that pretty much. But this one here has got a gimbal. So it's got a vectoring range of 3 degrees, which means it will push into various. I can actually steer with it, whereas I can't steer with that engine. So the swivel is what we want, even though it's not as powerful. Now when we have a look at it, we've got the swivel down in through here, which has still got a high thrust to weight ratio. Both of these have got high thrust to weight ratios, and then we've got the 215 kilonewtons. So that will still get us off the ground, but it's just not going to do a lot to get us into sort of orbit. So it's probably not going to be quite strong enough. So that's actually fine where that is. What we'll do is we'll put some radial decouplers on now. I think we've got some of those. Yeah, we've got a radial decoupler there. I can throw just one of them on and then sort of go and put like 2 or 4. Actually, I might just put 2 on. Let's just go and put, just go and press the X key, which will then, or I can click on that one just to get like one on either side of the ship. So we've got one on either side there. All right, and from there we just want to put some thumpers on. So I need to have it sort of stabilized from each side. So thumpers. Now we've got the shrimp, which is very, very small, or I've got the thumper, which is quite large. So I'll put the large thumper on. We want to make sure that we do get into space. That should be right. Yep, that looks good. Okay. We need to make it aerodynamic. So we just come back across to the aerodynamics. It's funny how slow it actually turns everything off. And it's also going to be wobbly, so we need to stabilize it. So we go back into structural. Actually, I don't have anything there to stabilize just yet. So we're just going to have to hope that that will actually do the job. Now, if it's going too fast, now we've got like a this is going to go. This is going to do its thing at the start through here. So S0 is doing the has got a thrust weight ratio of 3. And again, what I can do is I can actually reduce this if I needed to, get the thrust limiter down, and that should then change. It's not actually picking it up. It's not actually doing it there, or is it? Oh, it is. Sorry. Showing it there. It's down the bottom here. But that's not right. That's the one that should be showing up. No, this is different again. S0 is up here. Yeah, okay, that's it down here. Thrust weight ratio is only 0.73. So I can actually have a longer burn. I just need to be over 1. So if I'm not going to be burning my main engine, if I'm just going to be using these to get off the ground, which I could do, like I can actually set this one up so that this is another mod, the Kerbal Engineer Redux. It gives me readings in through here. So 1.5 is at that sort of ratio. If I just make it say 70% there. So I've got a ratio there. As long as I'm over 1, I'm going to be able to launch off. I'll keep all of the solid fuel there, and then I've got like a fairly good thrust to weight ratio there for staging 2. So we've got that one. We then decouple. I can kick them both in at the same time if I'm wanting to. So they'll all just fire off at the same time in through here. So, and then we've decoupled from there, and then we're going to be then sort of doing this final little staging through there. And again, I can just do that and just bring it. So we only have like 3 stages. So SO, 1 and 2. So that's O, yeah, there we go, O, 1 and 2 there. That, I think, will be more than what we need to sort of get up into space. The trouble will be is that I may need to, actually what I might need to do here is actually just add another staging in here and throw this one in. If I'm finding I can't steer, I'll fire this one up for steering, but I'll keep it off as long as possible. Then when we're ready, I can then decouple these, so I can actually fire that up whenever I feel like it, decouple, and then decouple into the final bits. All right, so we're going to have to do a bit of steering. We need to still get our aerodynamics, so let's go and do that now. So aerodynamics in here, we'll just get the basic fin, and I'll just press the X to get like a four times around, which that will be fine there. And that's all we need to do. So we've now got the fins, which will then just keep it fairly stable. We do have the stabilizer at the top there. I won't worry about doing science until we get way up into space. Let's give this one a go. I might save this craft. GeoSync, we'll just call it that. And we can then just do a save. Don't press new, that starts everything from scratch. So we'll give this one a bit of a go and see how we go. Craft is too heavy. The launch pad can't support vessels heavier than 18 tons. Oh, okay. So we're too heavy here. Unable to launch. So what we need to do is ultimately we eventually need to get more stuff. So this makes it difficult. So the overall tonnage is too much. What we might do is ditch these thumpers and then go with something smaller, like the hammers. Is that going to be enough? What about the shrimp? Just move that out of the way for a second. The shrimp has got 90 fuel. What's the weight on these? Mass 7, yeah, this is 0.8, so this is only 10%. The might is smaller again. These are 3 as opposed to 7. I think that's still, like, the overall weight. That's I don't think that's going to be big enough to get into orbit. We do have good thrust to weight ratio there for the bottom stage. What I might do is I might see if I can actually get this thing up there. So let's just go and save this one, this version of it, which means we've only got the one engine at the bottom there, the gimbaling engine. So we've got a lot of work to do with this, and because it's at a thrust to weight ratio of 2.14, I can throw in the fuel tank. And we're now at 1.75. Let's give that a go and see if we can actually steer this thing up using just this one ship. So save. I'm not sure what the full weight is. Does it tell us what the weight is? Total weight. That's the mass there. 12,000. So we're way under, aren't we? Let's give it a go. Just see how high we can go. Okay, press the stabilizer because we do have the reaction wheels, and what we want to do here is I'm just going to go and press Z, which will then give me maximum thrust, and we're going to fire off. I don't know if we're going to, I'm just going to lay over very, very slightly. I'm going to do most of the maneuvering when we get up there. So what I'm looking at this reticule more than I'm looking at the actual craft itself. Like it looks good, but it's actually, and we need to be traveling sideways. Now, over through here, we have the apoapse height. I'm going to be keeping track of this, and this is actually also important. I can also go and do that one if you're not using the mods. I can go and change, which one can I do? Is it it's not, that's the staging. Yeah, there we go. Apoapsis, but it's the distance away as well that I'm sort of interested in. And I don't want to be traveling too fast down low. I'm just going to go and press the control down a little bit, just so I don't waste too much in this low atmosphere. We need to be sort of now pushing right over. Apoapse height is now going to be 20,000. Halfway through our fuel burn. And we need to be travelling sideways. We need to get this periapsis height up by travelling sideways, but I don't want to be travelling directly sideways until we're well and truly out of this soupy atmosphere into the high atmosphere. It's probably travelling a little bit too fast again, so just going to slow it down. It saves a little bit of the fuel, so we're down to 3/4 throttle, and you can see there we're now sort of almost travelling too fast again. Let's just keep it going up to, look, we're travelling, you can see we're getting heat effects on the craft, or atmospheric effects on the craft. We're still travelling, and we're still picking up speed even at like low thrust. We're going to get up to about 100 apoapse, and I don't want to be much over a minute away from where we're going. But at this stage, I'm sort of happy enough with the direction. Let's just keep on pushing now through the direction of travel. The periapsis, which is sort of like the smaller of the two, is coming up as well. This is now working. I may need to get some little boosters just to help me get off the ground at the start, so those little hammers may be light enough to help us. We're at 80,000, so we will get into orbit here. But I just need to keep on pushing it over. I don't have enough fuel. It's the trouble. Oh, we've got a fuel leak. So we've got a fuel problem in here. So that tank is leaking. This is the Kerbalism realism mode. Just going to press X because we're now over 100, and I don't want to be too far away from it to be able to then sort of push my way into it. I've still got a little bit of fuel there. I do need to pick up speed, but I'm just going to wait until we get close to 100, like to 1 minute away. I can still push this thing over. It's extremely stable having that reaction wheel. That's working very, very well. We can have a look at also just at how things are going. Electrical charge is actually okay because we've been burning the engine. We've hardly got any oxidizer or liquid fuel left in this one. So this tank, this is Kerbalism, which is a realism mod. which is actually now this sprung a leak halfway up the like as we're doing our burn. We're still 2 minutes away. Let's just speed up time a little bit. We're in orbit. Oh, we're not in orbit, but we're sort of in space now. 1 minute, 30 odd. I'll just let it keep on coming back up. And so when we're about a minute away, I'll just start to, there we go. So we'll now just go and burn I'll just press Z, and we'll just do, then that's it. So let's now get rid of this stage, and I'll just press X. Still 56 seconds away. Now we've got all this fuel as well. So we've now got a fair bit of it in through this other side, and that engine did actually kick in. The more we use the engine, the more likely it is to actually fail. We're only 40 seconds away. I better start to make use of it now. So let's just go and start to fire this thing up. It's not a very strong engine, and I need to get this periapsis up. Need to get both up, to be honest. This is getting there, which is good. This is still going up as well because we're pointing up. We're now a minute away from the other one. There's a way you can turn that flicking off. Okay, I'm just going to press X. We've still got a heap of fuel. We're now in orbit. We've got and we've got an apoapsis height here of 146,000 and a periapsis of 99. If we press the M key, we're now in orbit. So we've got the orbit in through here. This is what we have to aim for. So we've got a bit of work to do here. So we're going to have to change the angle that we're actually on with our orbit, and it's easier to do that now. So a lot of these things will be easier for us to then sort of go and try to sort of do. Now there is a way for us to, if we look at these different nodes, if we have a look at see where the actual nodes kick in, it's about where we are right now, but we'll do it from the other side. So we'll just go back around. This is us here. I'm just going to go around to this side and try to get this the ascending node and descending node into here. We have to change the angle. I'm worried that our craft is going to fail, but let's just go and throw it. Can I put a maneuvering node there? No, I can't. So I'm going to have to start to just tweak this one manually, like visually, I think. So unfortunately I don't have because I don't have the tech yet. I'm going to have to do all this manually. We need to face the craft up when we actually hit these nodes. I'm just going to speed up time a little bit so we come around, and we'll just go back out and just press the M key again. This is now what we're looking at. So we are picking up the sunlight. You can see there the electrical charge is now working. We've got a fair bit of oxidizer, but we're nowhere near where we need to be to actually then go and change this particular setting. Now this is our last stage. This is everything. This is our actual little spacecraft. What I might do is I might just start to set things up, so we can actually just go and extend that part. It's a camera. I'm not sure what the aim camera will do. I might just go and do telemetry or anything else like this. And telemetry reports. I can just transmit any data. So I'll just keep the Kerbal net access. That's going to be nothing we have to worry about. I'll just go and leave that one through there. We should be able to communicate no problem at all. We'll just start to do these. I think we've got all the information that we need from that one there. And then the temperature scan. Just waiting. So we've done all of the information in here. So this is actually just telling us, what's going on with this particular, with all this stuff going on. So the satellite is working. Let's just go back to the map again. So we need to get way over to this position over here, and I can't do a maneuver node just yet until we actually research it. I'll just use that for now. So we'll just get this. We'll just get the craft zipping around here a little bit. I'm just going to go and just reduce this speed now. Just go a little bit further around. I need to be on these nodes. So when I get to, well, I'm pretty close now. Let's just go and let's go back in and just start to then push the craft up. So we've got, this is actually what we're looking at through here. I'm just going to go back in and press M. I'm going to rotate the craft around so that we're pointing up. Actually, that's the node that I'm looking for. This is the normal node. So we're going to be firing at normal. So with that one there, I'm just going to go back to, oops, didn't need to do that. Go back to the map again. And we're sort of right on that little zone here. I'm just going to go and press the what we're doing here, just keeping a track on what's going on with this side. This should be changing our orbits. Is it coming around? Not overly. A little bit. So we've got heaps of fuel. See how it's now spinning around as I push up? I want to just keep it on that normal until I match this angle. Just giving a bit of a track on this one as well. So I'm just trying to keep that one, just getting the angle right first. So we'll just get this one set up while we're nice and close as much as we can. And that will about do us, I think. Yep, see how these are ascending and descending nodes. So the angle that we now have of the orbit, it looks pretty good. We've still got a fair bit of fuel. Actually, what's going on there? Display, yeah, display that one. I'll just keep that one on. So now we need to go back into the prograde, which is this one here. Actually, no, that's sorry. That's the this is prograde here. The prograde marker means pointing to the front. So I'm just going to have that one sort of facing this way. And now we need to go out to the actual orbits that are the target orbits. So if we just go and have a bit of a look. So we need to build an unmanned probe, reach the designated synchronous orbit. So have a thermometer on the satellite. Oh, I need mystery goo, damn it. I didn't do it. Oh, damn it. Okay, I need mystery goo on this thing. I didn't read this. Yeah, okay. That's the actual orbital specifics. All right, so we need an inclination there of 25.8 degrees. Now, when I launch, I think I'm going to be able to get into what we need with this particular craft. So I need the mystery goo. I didn't think I did. All right, back revert flight to the VAB. So, hi Sir Bud, how you going? I think happy weekend, gamers. Are you doing like a sandbox mode where you can build what you want? No money or engineering? No, we're building. This is career mode. But we don't have to do the missions, but we sort of have to do the science to be able to then go and do things. So the science is more important than the missions. So I'm going to get rid of the Geiger counter. So we needed a mystery goo container on this one here. It's funny because I didn't think we did. Didn't think it would actually work. All right, so we've got the thermometer, mystery goo. Got this guy and this guy here. All right, so that's enough, and that sort of got us into orbit. We did have that little failure there with the fuel tank. Because we reverted to flight, we don't get any benefit from the stability of what we actually ended up having. Because of the Kerbalism mod that I'm using, I can go in and make things like a better quality, but I'm not going to worry about it. If we sort of then process the flight at that point, yeah, things sort of do work out fairly well. Do we keep on going? The flight, this thing did pretty well. It's just the overall mass. I've got 12,000. I can still put a lot on this. I think I might just, the more fuel I can actually have when I get up into space, the better. Let's go back to the radials again, and just press X, just put 2 of these on. And I'll just put some flea engines on. So this is, when we put the thumper on, it was, it's more than doubled the weight of the craft. If I put the hammer on, says it's only got no. What are these? These weigh 3 tons, 3.5 tons. Doesn't make sense. That doesn't quite marry up, does it? Doesn't quite marry up. Just change the order of those. Let's see if that will work. We do need to get the aerodynamics on top of this one. So we'll give that a bit of a go, and we'll just move these down. That looks off. And Shift X just to get down to 2. So we don't want them getting too close to, well, we sort of want them down around about the same height as the engine. It may still even be too high up, but that's okay. They're only small little engines. Let's see if this one works. So we'll just go and save this particular one again. And launch. Unable to launch. Okay, we've got more than 30 parts. And now it's too heavy. Heavier than 18 tons. God, we're so close. But we've reduced the fuel load. There we go. That did it. So let's just get a bit of a boost with the solid fuel boosters. So we'll just go and press T, put the stabilizer on, and I will actually put the I will put this one up to full speed. So I'm just going to press Z. Just let these things go up as far as they'll take us, which won't be very far, but it will help. Bring this one back. We're actually travelling at a fairly good speed here. There we go. That's now gone off. That just gave me a little bit of a boost up. That was enough. Uh-oh. Under thrust. We've got a failure here. So we're slightly under thrust with this engine. Just keep on laying it over. And again, we're just looking at the Apo apps. We're looking at just keep it at 2/3. So the engine has failed. I can't fix it because it's red, but it's so it's just not quite doing what we want it to do. In fact, is it doing enough? I think it is doing enough. So the thrust is down slightly on that engine. I don't know if we can actually see that. I mean, the thrust limiter is at 100. Remaining burn time. We've got a lot of burn time here. Let's just bring it over. I'm still not travelling it. I'll just take it up to full thrust. It's still working out okay. Or is it? Maybe it's not. It's pretty inefficient, isn't it? Oh, it is pushing up, which is enough. It's just that we've just got the Like the red is just showing that it's actually failed, but it's still working. 22,000, 28 seconds away. Just try to be as efficient as we can. Pointing into the prograde marker, but we just need to be high up. When we're getting up there, we're sort of out of the soupy atmosphere now. And this is still, the time to apoapse is actually okay. Like the thrust is actually fine for what we're doing here. We're right on the limits of being able to do things. But by doing this as well, it is sort of, it's a controlled burn going up. But I think we're going to run out of juice here because of the thrust. It's just not quite strong enough. Oh, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Yeah, maybe we'll just keep it going and see if we can do it. We're getting the atmospheric effects. We didn't get high enough, but it's still actually okay. Traveling at a good speed here, but the apoapse height just isn't quite strong enough yet. So we do have some heat. We just didn't quite get high enough. We should be close to this heat not really being a factor. The apoapse is now pushing itself out, which is good. The time factor. Just going to reduce the thrust. Just let it sort of cool itself down a little bit, and we'll just try to maneuver it into an orbit here. So we're 1 minute away, with the apoapse coming up to 50 kilometers up. We need to get it to around about 100 thereabouts. Actually, one thing I didn't do again is I didn't set the. I should have checked the. We've now got a failure on the fuel tank. This one was leaking again. So things are going wrong. I'm still doing okay here. But actually, what I have done is I've screwed up the. I should have started with the right angle, and I didn't. I might do that again. Let's just revert back to the launch pad and start again. Before I get started, I'm going to check the map and just see what angle I need to be at. So if I just go to M, we're at KSP here. So we need to be pointing south when we launch. So we want to sort of be pushing slightly to the south. So we're going to go and just get a bit of a weird orbit here. Just press the M key and press T, and away we go. So what I want to do here is just push down this way a little bit along this sort of angle. Down along this way. I've gone the wrong way. Hang on. Go this way instead. That's it. I want to head down towards me. To get this fired right up. Keep this not going too much. We don't have to tell actually. How are we going? Yep, that's about right. Just moving along this angle. Okay, so I'm just going to slow down. We were finding about 2/3 throttle was about right. I don't want to have the apoapse going too far away from where I am. and control this, and I'm pretty close to where we're heading in here. This should be a much more efficient burn. So I do need to go to push to the south. I need to point this thing up to 135 rather than 90. Yep, so Stardag was saying he came back for more punishment. I did indeed. Now we're still extending the time to apoaps, and we're now out of this atmosphere. I'm just going to throttle down a little bit more. We've still got a lot of fuel here, and so the more I can get up, again, I don't really want this going too much out more than about a minute. So that's about right. We're sort of now slowed right down to, we're just dribbling along. But we're still, the apoaps are still slowly increasing, but we're hardly using any fuel here. We'll just lay this thing over now to point at the prograde marker. I'm not going to correct anything just yet. 55. It's now coming back in. Let's just ramp this up a bit. Everything's nothing's failed yet, which is great. We're still not out of the atmosphere yet, though. I just want to get us efficiently into close to the orbit that we need in the direction and everything before I pop off this next one. Let's just reduce it again. We've just gone over a minute. The apoaps is now going to hit the 70 kilometers, which is going to get us into space, which means the other engine will be more efficient. And now we're still sort of, I'll just move it just very, very slightly. You can see there that even just with the throttle down so low, the apoap's height is hardly moving. And I now just need to lay it over to be more efficient to try to bring this periapsis, which what the periapsis is essentially where we're going to be crashing into here. Now we're slightly over too much, but that's okay. At least we're in a much better position than what we were. So this one's still coming back in. I'll just get this one close to where we need to be. So a quick look at our everything's good, electrical charge because the engine's burning. Coming backwards a little bit with the time to the apoaps. Let's just bring this one up until we run out of fuel on this stage. And then we'll just keep on pushing this one out. This one's a lot less power, but this is still, even at very, very low power, this one is still pushing that one across fairly effectively. So up to 80. Just go and get that throttle right down. Just we try to maintain about a minute away from the apoaps. I'll just keep on pointing towards the that position just so we can bring the periapsis up. The craft will flicker. There is a way of changing that actually. If I go to settings, I don't know if it shows it in here. There is something I saw. I thought I'd already done it. No, it's not going to, there's nothing there. I might have to do it outside of the gameplay. Need to go even further back. You don't want to have this too far out. It makes the periapsis more difficult to control. It is coming up nicely. So it will flicker. That's where we launched from. We're still actually now. I'm just going to turn it off for a little while until we sort of start to catch up a little bit. We're still under. I can push down to sort of have things work, but I'll just keep it where it all is. This will then, our electrical charge will start to come down a little bit. So about 1 minute away. So we're still going to crash. If we have a look at this one now, it's better, but we still hit the land back over here. So the apoapse is around here somewhere, but we can just do it by these numbers, or clicking down into this one here, and you can sort of see the periaps. You don't see how far off you are. Actually, we've been in our ramp up again. And so then bring this one up. The closer we are to the apoapse, the more efficient everything will be for us. There we go, we're now positive, but we're still in the atmosphere. Here we go, we've just flipped, and we've now got a, just press X, about now-ish. So the further away, we're now 5 minutes away from the apoapse. We've now pushed the apoapse further around, but we are now in an orbit. So we're now orbital. With our craft, and let's go and have a look and see how we're going with our angle. Not fantastic, but it's not terrible either. Or is it? Oh no, it's not terrible. We went too far, that's all. So when we hit daylight, we're going to need to push this down a little bit. So that's the descending node and the ascending nodes, and we want to sort of just have them lined up for where we end up going. Let's just speed up time a little bit. Okay, and we're going to, in this case, we need to point down to bring this one down into its correct alignment. So we're sort of away from, like, it doesn't, with the orbit that we've got is fine. It's just now going to be these ascending and descending nodes, and without being able to put on a, well, there it is there. It's right there. So I'll just get the craft ready. I can just do it from here, actually. So if I go to, and if I want to just double check, if I just go back and press M, that's pointing up, which is not the direction we want to be going. So that's the normal, and we want to go to the anti-normal, which is this one here. So the anti-normal is to then point down. So we'll just keep it pointing on that one, which will then sort of affect our orbit, our orbital inclination. So the prograde and retrograde will affect the actual orbit itself. This one will a little bit with what we're doing. We don't get to see. We're seeing what's underneath us over through here, but we don't get to see the what is it? The ascending node and descending node from the orbital aspect that we're trying to achieve. I might just put this one on, just so we've sort of got it there, but this is actually not something we have at this stage. Let's just go back to the map. And so we're pretty close. Let's just go and now push this one, just so we can try to bring this orbit back down. I'm just going to go and start to fire up here a little bit. At the ascending and descending node, we're not quite where we needed it to be, but this will just come back down a little bit. Just press X as we sort of chase this thing around. You can see it's coming down quite nicely. We've got heaps of fuel here. Again, just keeping track on the periapsis and the apoapsis. I think it's much more efficient to be doing this at this angle, where we are right now, rather than doing it when we're too far away from the surface. That is looking pretty damn good. Ascending node and ascending node is now moving away. So we've now pushed this one around where we're just slightly off again. So we now need to get it so that we end up just tweaking it, but we're so close to this. And it's going to, the closer we get to these ascending and descending nodes, and with tweaking, like this will actually impact things really quite dramatically. So let's just keep it pointing down, and then we'll just wait until we get around to this other side. So let's just speed up time again. Moving around. Down to 1 times speed, and we're still a little way off. Let's just get this ascending node and descending node just lined up. This is how, like if you have maneuver nodes, which we don't have yet, you won't have to do it manually, but this is how you do it manually. So as we're getting closer, that's just going to keep on sort of spinning around slightly. We don't have any thrust on it just yet. I do want to just tweak and see what happens here. Let's just start it really slowly. It's moving it away slightly. I'm actually happy with that orbit. I don't think we're going to do much better than that, to be honest. So that's the inclination that we've got. That's the actual, this is the orbit that we have to then try to match. Now all we need to do is just get the apoaps out. In fact, what I could do is, and so to push the orbit out, to get the apoaps up even bigger, we need to push prograde, and I can do that anywhere. So that's retrograde there. So if I just go back and look at this one, we'll be pointing backwards. We want to point to the front, which is this one over here. Now if I change the other angles, it's going to be, so I want to be right on that one. And I'm just going to do this one manually, so I just go and press shift. I can do it pretty gently, and it's just going to sort of slowly sort of push this thing across. So we've just got a very, very slight burn there. Communicatron is always working. And we need to get this one way, way up. So if we have a look at the orbit that we need to be in, apoaps of 3,400. I'll go for 3,000, but you can see it's quite efficient with what we're doing here. And we've still got heaps of fuel. Actually, have we got enough fuel? Maybe we don't. Maybe we don't. 1,500. Just looking at the apoaps. We might be right on for the fuel. We'll just get it to 3,000. We can then just tweak. Yeah, this is actually, we may not have enough. That's 3,000 now to the apoaps. We need to get to and the periapsis of around about 2,300. So I don't think we have to be right on. I think there's a degree that we can actually then go and do things here. So we've still got a fair bit of fuel here. We need to now go back out. If we have a look at this is actually now where we will end up being. So do I need to tweak this? If I just go to the normal and just see what actually happens if I now just tweak this one slightly. Now that we've got like such a big orbit, that's bringing it back down. That's good. And that'll do me. We need to get out to this apoaps, so we're sort of further out here than what we needed to. Yeah, so I may be able to do this one a bit more effectively. Let's have a quick look at the actual craft itself. So we're going to be needing to go prograde again ultimately, but we'll do that once we get out there. So we'll press the speed up time a little bit here. And a bit more here. Need to get all the way out to the apoaps, which is the furthest point in the orbit. We'll see it will then find different locations to report back to on Kerbal. Uh-oh, the engine has failed. Or the fuel tank. Has it got a leak? Yep. Got ourselves a leak. We're not going to get there in time, damn it. Okay. By the time we get there, we're going to be empty. The oxidizer is leaking. You can see it there leaking away. We're not running it at anything. Oh, boy. Boy, oh, boy. Okay. Well, we've got liquid fuel, but not oxidizer, which means we can't burn anything. So we're screwed yet again. This Kerbalism is actually a difficult one. I'm going to run whatever science I can while we're in this sort of weird orbit. So we're not going to be able to do this mission because we're going to run completely out of oxidizer, unfortunately. But let's just run what we can. So I can't fix this. So the oxidizer has gone. But we'll still keep on going with this experiment. So let's just go and start this mystery goo. So it's now running, and we are picking up science from this. We're going to go to the temperature scan and start that as well. Just go and check our electrical. The electrical is fine because we've got everything else going. And we also want to do telemetry. Just wait for the telemetry report if we can do it. Now the observation mode is depleted there. We can't do anything else there. Can we send it back? That's okay, we can leave that one there. Just leave it all there. There should be a way of sending it all back home again. But unfortunately, if I now start to push the engines, nothing's going to happen. If I go prograde, I can't even maneuver. Oh, hang on. I'm going full on warp here. If we go prograde there, yeah, a little puff, and that was all we got. So nothing's happening here. We are in this orbit. It says that we've got communication back to Kerbal. So the communication should actually be happening. Actually, it was probably because I was sped up that I couldn't actually send. The data is empty. Transferring data, awaiting telemetry report. I'll just keep it going there. It's done all it can actually do. Kerbal net, I don't think this matters much. Then we've got the telemetry report. Just go and send that one through. This one here, you really need to bring these back. So there is science done here. What I think I might do is I might just go and go to the Space Center, and we might just delete this particular one, but we'll keep it where we are. Hi, just emotes. How you going? So if we go back now to the tracking station, and I'm just going to delete this particular. There's all the different stations that are now talking with this particular object, but I'm going to terminate this one. So I can't recover it, but I then learn from all of the stuff that we just did. So let's terminate, and I don't know if we pick up science from that. The termination it doesn't restart the game. So if I go back and have a look at we're up to 40. We got a little bit from it. So we didn't meet the mission. So let's just go back into the VAB. We got close with the fuel, but just not quite enough. And we're right on the limits here with everything as well. Weight-wise, as well as the number of. We can ditch that, I think. And what I might do is, just to get a little bit of spare fuel, is to get a probione. Sorry, what is it? The fuel tank's in here. Oscar B. Now there is a way of just in case we end up with another failure. Tested false, part is new. Fuel delivery overlay. Alright, so that's actually where it's going. So it's part of this group, but I wouldn't mind keeping it as a, look, I'll leave it where it is, but it would be nice to not have it go through. Oops, hang on. Yeah, it's still there, so we've still got the, that goes off, that goes into there. I'll just save this. Fuel delivery. Not sure what that does. It's the priority. Oh, this is the priority of the actual what it has. That's just the default. All right, we'll turn that off. But it's still just going to be draining into this engine. It just gives me a little bit more fuel anyway, so that will still be helpful. I could put, instead of that one, what I could do is actually go and grab a different one entirely. Got that one there, which is bigger again. But that one there is the right size. Let's chuck that in there like this. Whoops. That way we just get a little bit more fuel. In fact, is that the same size as just one of those other big tanks? This here is a 0.5 tons and a 1.1. So that's we're looking at what's that, a 1.6. There's a 2.5. Let's just try this. If we have to, we can just try to get a cleaner aspect into that one there. So we'll save this and try to launch. Yep, that one did succeed with the launch. So it's been saying, how goes the Space Odyssey? It's slow going with this Kerbalism. It's not easy. Okay, stabilizer on. I'll just get a little bit of the throttle up to 2/3. That's what we sort of found was a better way to go. Move that one across, move this one over, and we want to just be pointing up a little bit into here. I think if I keep it on these numbers, that'll be about where we need to be a little bit, and then we'll have sort of like minimal changes required after this. Engineer's not working. Why are you not working? It was working before, but not now for some reason. In that case, we're going to have to do it manually here. And we're not going to be able to really see exactly what's happening with everything that we're doing. It's weird that it's actually stopped showing the engineering reports at the top. I mean, it's sort of funny that it was showing it, to be honest, because they were off at one stage. Just try to keep this pointing down this way a little bit. Apo apps coming up. So we don't know how far off we are from the Apo apps, and I was relying on that a lot previously. Just lay this one over. Oh, damn it. Got more fuel leaks now happening. These are terrible. What else have we got there? We've got another failure up in here. Oh, we can't even communicate. Beyond repair. All right, we'll go back. We'll revert back to the launch because we're not going to be able to report back. So let's go to Kerbalism settings and lower failures to oh, it did. Actually, it may have come back. It may have come back. So if we go back to settings, difficulty options, let's have a look and see. Yeah, no, hang on, fixable failure rate. I've changed these from 75% down to 15%, and I've changed these ignitions down to 10. Yeah, so this is remembering. It remembers what we've got. So I've already done that one. Did you ever find the engineer recorder part? Yes, actually, that's what we got rid of, wasn't it? That's the difference. If I go back, I'm just going to go back and close that one. We're going to revert back into the VAB. That's what the that was the engineer report. The thing we took off this thing just right then. That makes perfect sense. So when we go back in, we go back into science, and this computer flight here does give us the. So here we go. So there's the ER7500 goes back to its roots with the Kerbal engineering system. This unit has been proven, so it does actually give me the Kerbal engineer stuff. So I do need this one on. And I will actually just go and get the data capacity up to 2 megabytes. So this one is, I don't know what the verbose log is, but that's going to be fine. Let's just go and save this one. Have we got enough to launch? Yes, we do. Good. All right, this is good. So that will give me the engineer reading. So I just got rid of it. There we go. We've now got it here again. So we'll just go and get our thrust up to 2/3, which is about where we need to be. Push this one up and then over a little bit and up a little bit as well. Oops, stabilizer's on. I forgot about doing that one. Just move this one over. So I've had a few failed flights now. Just want to stay just above the 90 degree, like this 90 degrees, between 90 and 135, just to try to get this orbital thing happening. We're only 12 seconds away, but this 2/3 throttle seems to be about right for what we're doing. And this is now just overlaying. We want this to be we want the prograde to be about 45. The more I sort of maneuver, the more likely we are to get a failure. Not seeing any other reports of failures. There we go, that'll be okay, we'll just leave it there. Just trying to tweak this angle. Okay, we're still only 19 seconds away from the apoapse, which is fine. Just lay it over a little bit now that we're 10 kilometers up. Just manually pushing this one through, 23 seconds out. Start to just reduce the throttle slightly. Just try to maintain that distance out to the apoapse. Want it close to where we are. We're still 20 kilometers up. We're still pushing. See how the apoapse is still pushing out. We're still about 30 seconds away, and it's about sort of where I need to be. Actually, it is handy knowing that recorder is actually where we do get this engineering report from, which is very nice. 29 seconds. I'm just going to keep it about there. I'm going to try to keep it now pushing through as close to the prograde as I can. We're now out of the soup, and we're sort of into the upper atmosphere. It's a beautiful looking game, isn't it? I don't know what that's the contrail, the trail from the rocket. The more I go prograde, the more well, I'm still trying to push through the atmosphere, so I'll just keep it coming up. $35,000. So we're pushing more weight because we've now got the bigger fuel tank up the top here. We're still only 30 seconds away from the actual from the apoapse, which is about right. I'll just get it more pointing more efficiently towards the prograde. Here comes the heat. Should be okay. Getting ready to drop these tanks. We didn't have any failures this time, but this bit of it anyway. Now we just need to just check to make sure that we're still going up. Let's bring our throttle down to try to maintain this here. We're still not in the atmosphere yet. So you're still not in space. And we'll check our the angles in a little while. We're still a minute away from the apoapse. The apoapse is now up to 60 kilometers. Periapsis is coming up, so we are pushing both aspects. We're so close. So 53. We're still getting some drag, so we probably didn't really get high enough to make the best shot of this one, but at this stage everything's going well. We've got no failures, which is nice. Still not in the atmosphere yet. I'll just reduce the speed here. And just keep it pushing up. So we're going to get to 70,000 fairly soon. And we're still actually now going like we're catching up on that apoapse a bit too much. Hard to get any throttle, but we are basically now in space, and the periapsis is coming up nicely as well. And we're going to have a lot of fuel just to do our manoeuvres. There we go. We've got 70,000 now with the apoapse. I'll get up to about 100, and then we'll sort of just manage it from there. We've still got 2 minutes until we actually get there. Just got a very, very slight burn. This is still pushing it up. If I push down a little bit, that will at least get the periapsis up. And again, we do want to get this up to around about 100,000. Just keep it right on that, on this prograde marker in the bottom there. All right. So 76,000. We're 3 minutes away now from the apoapse, and we're now 11. But I'm still actually happy enough with the way everything's working. So even though we're 3 minutes away and rising, the periapsis is now positive. And I'll just keep it sort of going where we end up. If I push down, I can control the apoapse, but really it's all about efficiency now. I don't care how big it goes, but it will flip. I think I have to change that flip somewhere else. That flip there is annoying. So I would like to, and that's just telling you that you're basically into like an orbit. I'm just going to press the X key because we're now 7 minutes away, and let's leave it there. So we're only 40 kilometers up, so we are going to fall back to Earth again. But in this case, we've got 7 minutes. Let's just do, we're in no great rush. Always try to sort of tweak things a bit here. So I'm just going to come back up around again to about so we get close to where we need to be for just doing this, for managing this one here. So just go to 5 minutes. So still maintaining the direction that we were. Now we're sort of flipping around all over the place. 2 minutes away. I'll just press the X key. Oh, hang on. No, minimize time. So we're about a minute away. Let's just go and get the... so we'll point prograde again. Not worrying too much about this angle just yet until we actually get this one fixed. The angle will change because of what we're doing. And really we just want to keep this one where we don't go too far further than the 1 minute, but we want to get this periapsis up as well. So we can sort of circularize this orbit as much, like I don't have to be efficient. Now we do now have an orbit. We'll just let it come up a little bit more, but now 2 minutes away from the apoapse. The further out we go, the more this becomes crazy numbers up through here. I don't want it to go too crazy. So let's just press escape around there. So that's pretty much 110 kilometers up and 100 kilometers for the periapsis. So our orbit is now fairly good. Oh God, have I screwed up that badly? Yes, I have. I'm miles away. I did it the opposite direction. It's just change each time you do it. Does this change every single time that you actually try to do one of these orbits? It must do. I've done the opposite way. Oh well. This is going to now waste all my fuel. I should have checked that before I even started. So this chops and changes. That's really strange. That's where we started. No, that's not where we started. Where did we start? KSP. I'm on the opposite berm. We can try it and just to see how we go. So I'm going to have to go anti-normal to when I get round to here. Well, let's accelerate time a little bit, just so we get to that point. It's about right there. Let's just go back to anti-normal, and that's it there. Let's just have a quick look and see. So we want to be pointing down, and yep, that's pointing down. See what happens here. Hopefully we've got enough fuel to do all the stuff that we need to do. Well, that's a big waste of fuel. We're going to waste half our fuel just getting this angle right. I should have checked that before I launched. I think I'm screwed here, guys. I think we have to revert back again. Yeah, look at the... we'll see how we go. We'll keep it on this anti-normal. Just see if we can actually tweak this. We have to waste all this fuel just to get back to level, and then go. I think we have to start again. We're using a way too much fuel to get this angle. Yeah. Oh, what a pain. All right, revert back to the launch. Try it again. This time we'll check to see when we launch. So if I press M, I would have been better just to sort of keep it there. Now we're leaving from KSP, so we're going to be traveling. It's pointing up. Oh, hang on. When it points up, I've got to point down. Yeah, okay. So I need to have it pointing down this way, I think. We'll see how we go. We're going to be slightly off when we launch there anyway, until we get around to here. So I might actually try to do this. We'll just go straight until we get to that point. We may be able to catch up a little bit. Maybe I'll just go slightly south. I'll go a little bit anti-normal with. Well, actually, it should be going up. Anyway, this is what we need to try to match. I don't know if I can actually have this as some sort of target, but I don't think we can. All right, let's get this thing done. So we'll now just press T, get our throttle up to 2/3. I will push slightly to the south. So that way I can just sort of see what's happening with the angles. Ditch those. Just lay it over very, very slightly. We get a bit of a boost from those, but not a hell of a lot. Yeah, so when I push down, I'm going slightly up. So I'll just keep it slightly under here. 16 seconds to the apoapse. We're 7 kilometers up. We can start to sort of now just slowly let it go through the periapsis, sorry, through the prograde to allow us to get as much efficiency as possible. Keep it going about there to about the 45 degree, which is about there. I think this time we'll try to keep it so that we've got more coming up through the atmosphere and getting out of the atmosphere a bit faster than the last. The last one was pretty good, but it was yeah, be interesting. We've got another fuel tank leak way at the top here. All right, well that was our spare, sort of. It's frustrating. I can't do anything about that either. Look at the liquid fuel going. Repair. No. Alright, well, it's not going to help us. Get this one coming over. I mean, it's probably is close to being an abort flight type situation here. Just going to reduce the throttle down. Just that time to apoapse is now a fair way out, and we are the apoapse height is. I'll just get up to 100, and then we'll sort of just leave it there. Actually, I'll leave it there now. Just turn off the engines. What a shame. What a shame. That would have been nice to have just had a little bit of extra fuel with what's going on. But what I could do is actually ditch that whole fuel tank and put it in one of these bigger fuel tanks. And because we've used these a few times now, so their reliability is high. Anything that's new, we end up with lower reliability. So a minute away. Let's have a quick look and see how we're going. Yeah, I'm a fair way off with these ascending nodes and things. Just try to get close. Point at this in this direction. Just keep managing this these nodes. Nearly out of fuel here. To drop this fuel tank. I think we must to revert. I'm burning. Only 17 seconds away from this one here where we need to get this periapsis up. Again, just trying to maintain that time to apoapse while we bring up the periapsis height. It'll flip. Yep, so it's about, we're a fair way up with the apoapse, so we quickly can see. again, we're off. Yeah, I've probably really, yeah, with where we are, it's sort of like when we launch, we're just off at that point. So at some point we have to make this correction anyway. We've hardly got any fuel again because of that leak. So I think we'll have to revert back. We'll revert back to the VAB. Yeah, so Syrian's saying you don't have to launch the direct orbit. It's a bit easier to just burn equatorial, push out to the AN, or yeah, and then push out the other side. I wanted to just get a little bit of a head start with it. Just a little bit of one. Let's ditch this stuff. Just get the more the fuel tank we've been using a lot, which is this one here. Alright, that gets rid of 2 fuel tanks, give me 1. Just do a quick save. Actually, what I will do is just change the overall look of that one for that stage. A different sort of look to it. Alright, we've still got a pretty good thrust to weight ratio everywhere. It's still actually all okay. Alright, let's try it again. Able to launch. Okay, so what did we? Oh, we're slightly over. Able to launch. Now, did we reduce? We reduced a little bit of this stuff. Let's just do that again. That's going to just save me a little bit of tonnage. There we go. Right on the limits. Give it another crack. So Demon's just saying, please be Jeb, please be Jeb. there's no Kerbal Noughts. In fact, Jeb is gone. I've renamed them. So we've got on the Twitch channel we've got a Dazdemption, and so Jeb is Supreme Plague, and Bill is or Bob, I think it's Bill, is sick, and so if they die, they get banned. All right, we will just go equatorial in this case, just for a little bit, but just press T. Stabilizers on. What am I doing? Yep, I'm looking the wrong direction. Would certainly help. That was inefficient. Let's just do that again. Revert to the launch. Let's try that again. So we want to go press T. We want to get the throttle up to 2/3. We found that to be the most efficient with this particular one, and we'll get that open, but we won't use it. Actually, we might just use this one here so we can look at the resources. So we'll just get into the orbit, move it over. Solid fuel is gone. Move that one off. And just push this one over slightly. So we want to maintain, it's these 2 numbers here that we're looking at. Again, if you don't have the engineer installed, you can actually then just go down to maneuver nodes, which will then give you the ApoApps height. And we need this one to get up to 100,000 or 100 kilometers. And just want to keep it fairly efficient going through the prograde. So this mission is to try to get into a geosynchronous orbit. 10 seconds away from the ApoApps, but this is actually still fairly efficient. 26 kilometers up. It's wanting to lay over a little bit, but this should still be okay. It's not super efficient with what we're doing. We are again carrying more fuel up though, so we're going to have we're going to be out of here before we really get into orbit. So this stage will go completely. Haven't had any failures yet, I don't think. What's that one there do? That's nothing. There's nothing much else we can do there. That's the science, which we won't worry about just yet. Missions. delta V. Let's push this one over now. Ah, oh, damn it. We've got another fuel leak in through here. This is another, like, this is diabolical. I'm just going to go and revert the crash out of this flight, because this is no longer viable for us. What I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to actually do a suicide burn and try to save the top of the craft if I can. Hang on, how do we do this? I'm going to have to ditch this whole thing. I can't bring it over to the negative. Whoa, nearly hit us. So what I want to do here is I just want to go and end up coming sort of straight down. That way we can at least try to do something with this, but I don't think we're going to have enough, and I don't have a parachute on this. Just see if we can somehow save it. If we can bring it back in. How much fuel have we got? Ah, we're out of liquid fuel. All right, we're screwed. Yep, so we've got the fuel leak in here. Okay, so catastrophic failure. We'll just go back in. I will actually keep this because it does then give me... I'll go back to the tracking station. You're in flight, leave anyway. And we're just going to allow that to... we'll just go into this one here and just go and recover. Can we do that? Oh, we could. Gee, that was lucky. So we got that one, and that one's now gone. We should then have learnt from that a little bit with that fuel tank. So the more we do that, the better. Let's just go back out again, and that's good. All right, Chico, that's a bit of an exploit. I didn't realise we could do that. Nothing else to do there. I think everything else is fine. Let's just go back to launch again. Chica saying, yeah, hi Dad and gang, been ages since last live. I'm here every day nearly. Anyway, get our throttle up to 2/3, SAS on. Well, failure. Bang. Now, when we get a failure like that at launch, that's we're better off in this case allowing that to go through. So go back to the tracking station because we learned from it. I have not been on Twitch much. There we go. Bit of an exploit, typical Dad shenanigans. Well, in this case, we didn't get that one. It's funny we didn't get even any debris. There should have been debris there. Let's just get back out of there. Syrian's saying, check my last right fast. I think your fail settings are still high in one setting. Let's have a look and see. So I've got 10% engine ignition failure chance. And engine burn failure chance 20%. You think that's actually the one that we need to move back? Yeah, fixable failure rate is the one getting you now, I think. Fixable failure rate. This one here is proportion of malfunctions that can be fixed remotely. See, I thought this one was low. And I thought that 75% was reasonable enough to try. Not that we can do that. Critical failure rates are 15%. I might move that one down to, say, 10. I might move these down to 10 as well, just so we end up with a little bit of a chance of failures. We'll accept that, see how we go. This is part of the realism mod. I'll just go back to resume. Those you're getting, are those repairable type? Oh, are they? So if I move, which way should I move it then? Which way do we go? Like, is it actually with this one here as well? Do we end up trying to get the scrapyard? There's advanced Button manager, yeah, no, there's nothing else there, is it really? Down. So move this one down, you think? To say 10. I'll try that at 10 and see how we go. Because they are annoying. All right, we'll close that one. Did we apply that one? Let's double check. Yep, that's okay. Resume. Okay, let's try that again. All right, we'll take this one off again into the launch. Okay, let's go for this again. So T, 3/4 throttle. Good launch so far. These don't last long. Ditch them. Lay over very, very slightly. Okay, they've crashed on the launch pad. Beautiful game. God, it's a nice looking game. It's only 3 kilometers up. I don't need to be too far over just yet. Yeah, we've still got a long way around before we start to change that maneuver. Okay, we're 11 seconds away from the Apoaps. 6 kilometers up. Just keep this thing going. So yeah, hopefully we don't get as many failures this time. This is now too far over. I want this one pointing further up if I can. So I'm just going to position this up a little bit. I could increase. Oh, now we can't communicate. Damn it. Well, we can still do the mission. Has to have an antenna. I don't know what the actual failure is on this. Beyond repair. Does that mean we're screwed with this mission? Still, now just getting out of this lower atmosphere. It's annoying. These failures are annoying. Okay, we're about a minute away now from the Apoaps, but we're still only 40 kilometers up. Reduce the throttle down to about 1/3. Almost going to be up into orbit. Okay, now we're going to get to 70,000 and we're out of fuel. So we get up over the 70. I might just go to 80,000 this time. We're maintaining about that 1 minute 30 seconds away for the Apoaps. Just point down a little bit. Just reduce the throttle. If I point down, the apoapse doesn't go up as dramatically when I'm a distance away from this. I'll just keep it going close to the prograde. So we're just slowly coming back down towards the 1 minute away from the apoapse, and we're still just increasing slightly. If I point down into the actual, like below the horizon, that should bring it backwards a little bit. Technically we did launch with an antenna, so I'm hoping that that will actually still count for what we're doing. Periaps are starting to sort of come up a little bit now. Now under a minute. We're still at about 84,000 for the apoapse. Time is creeping up to us on the apoapse. I'm just going to increase the throttle a little bit to maybe 50%. Yeah, that's pushing out now. I'll just go down a little bit just to try to maintain about a minute away. Just keep it there. So I'm just really looking at these two numbers up in here now. So we need this one to get up to about 90,000 as well. And the further out we go with the time to apoapse, the less I can then do with this one. So I'll just reduce the throttle way down. There we go. We're now technically sort of hitting orbit in here. There is a setting to turn that off, and I forget where it is. I'll have to have a look for it, I guess. You see we're now flaring way out with the time to apoapse. But having said that, I can just, if I'm concerned about that, I can just point down, which will then still allow this one to come up without pushing this one out too much. I just want to make sure I do get it orbital with this. Which is nearly at 100. There we go. That'll do. We're at 100 there, 80 there. That's going to be fine. Let's have a quick look at our map. So where are we? We're coming up to this one now. So we now need to press to the normal. So we'll just go into, and I might as well start to do this one now. That's anti-normal. So just go to the normal, which should then be pointing up. So when we're there, we'll just have a quick look at the map. Yep, so it's now pointing up. And just start to sort of burn this one now. And bring this orbit up. Again, just making sure that we don't go too crazy over here. Yep, this orbit's now coming around. Just keep it pointing on that normal. Just get the throttle up to say 2/3. Just while we do this one. Sort of chasing that descending node, but this is fine where we are. Just reduce it down to about 1/3, just while we slowly sort of chase these nodes around. We've still got a fair bit of fuel, which will get us into the actual orbit. Getting ready with the X key. It's coming up nicely. It's working nicely, that's good. And that's about it, I think. Still got about, oops, I've gone slightly over. But this is, so that orbital plane looks pretty close now to where we were. We now need to just move out. It doesn't really matter. I don't have to aim for this. I can just aim any old place and then just tweak it. But look, I might as well, I'll go for the periapsis. So let's just go into the dark side of the planet. And then we'll just sort of aim to get the periapsis done. I'm trying to get 10 times speed. Just go one more, this will be 50 times speed. So we're just coming into the dark side now. So now what we want to do is we want to be pointing into the prograde, which is pointing in the direction of travel, which is that one. And I want to then just match up with this orbit. So I can sort of get close-ish to it. It won't really matter that much. It will be pointing, it will be pushing this one out, which is fine. So let's just go and keep this one prograde at this stage. And press shift. Blow this this orbit out. Hope I've got enough fuel. It'll happen pretty quick as we get close to it. Okay, that's pretty close actually with everything we've done, which is quite nice. And then I can just go back to this other side over here and then just go and so when we can see the planet looking like that, we can then just come back in again. So let's just now zip around the planet. So we're getting close. Okay, let's have a quick look and see where we are. Still got a little way to go. And I can then, like once I get close to this, I can then just sort of tweak the different orbits and stuff. So I'm pretty happy with the inclination. We've still got a bit of fuel there. And we just need to then push this other side out. We're a little bit off from this, but we're not too far off. Let's just speed up time here. We are seeing connection back to it. I wonder if it just means that it wouldn't have been able to position itself with with what we're doing. It'll slow right down as we come further away from the actual orbit. As the orbits will speed up as they go past something. This one's getting nice and close. The orbital speed is really slowing down, travelling at 50 times the speed. It's now going to be, actually that's how we can tell when we're at this highest point, when this one actually comes back in. If we haven't changed the direction we're travelling, that will then sort of show us it'll go retrograde at that point. Alright, let's start tweaking this. Hopefully we've got enough juice in this craft to be able to do this particular one. We need to be pointing now prograde. And we will just keep it there for a second and blast this one. So got a fair bit of fuel there. Periapsis we're slightly away from. I might actually come back down to this position here and then just do that next one out a little bit further this way. I mean, I could even go past it, and that way we don't push the periapsis out too much. We have to sort of try to correct this angle here. Just zip on past it here, traveling quite slowly. Still got a bit of fuel. All right, go prograde again. I've hardly got any throttle coming up. Not sure which way I should be pointing out. I've got one of them will go one way. I'll just do a really small aspect there. Try it the other way and just see what happens there. Still just go prograde very, very slightly. Is that correcting it? It's a bit actually. It's a bit. It's got the apoaps fairly good there. We're very close. Very close. Is that good enough? Let's just tweak this even more. So where we cross over here is fine. We need to just bring the periapsis up a little bit, and we can probably do that from back over here somewhere. So we'll just tweak this one a bit faster. Hardly got any fuel. We still hasn't done anything. Now, do we have to actually? What I might do is I might just slow everything down to 1 times speed. We'll just go back to the map. I wonder if I need to have like everything. I'll just get. Yeah, unfortunately, this is just not working. It's taking radiation damage there, but that's okay. Let's go and observe the mystery goo, and we'll also just do the temperature, and we'll also do the telemetry report. And we'll just start to send stuff back if we can. I don't know if we can. So they're all on. I don't know how accurate we have to be with this. And I've still got a bit of fuel there, which is actually not terrible. It still hasn't ticked us off. So we're just not quite close enough. What I'm going to do is this over through here. If I can just get out to this point in this over this side. And if we now just go retrograde slightly, in fact that is now pointing almost completely retrograde, and we'll just try to get this orbit on the other side here in a little bit. Oh, there we go, we've done it, that's the orbit. All right, so we just need to be here for 10 seconds doing our stuff. We've achieved it, guys, we've achieved it. There we go. So we've got positioned satellite in geosynchronous orbit of Kerbal. Now I don't think I'm going to have enough to bring this one back home again, but that is that satellite has now done its job. It can just stay where it is, and it will then, if it can. Well, unfortunately, because that antenna is screwed up, I don't know if we're getting the data back. But this is ultimately this could actually now just work, so if we just go and quite often with these sorts of things, you want to point them into the normal. So it's always just pointing at the normal, which means it just basically stays in the same position, always pointing to the up. And so it just does its stuff, always looking at the same way. It's a nice sort of stable way of doing things. This has now done its thing, but the science, I don't know if that will be transmitted down. That's also now done its thing as well, and the telemetry. I'll just go waiting there as well. I think there's much we can do with this. So the data is empty there. So it has. I think it's sent it. I think we've actually done what we have to do. All right, let's go back to Kerbal. So we'll just go back in, press escape, and go back to the tracking station. So we now have this one just floating around. Actually, it is accessing it. So even though it's all screwed up, we still actually have the communicatron is still actually working, which is fine. Okay, so that one is doing what it's got to be doing there. So that's not a problem. So the geosync is maintaining that one. If we just go back out again and just see if we do pick up. We're at 48, so we can get the next upgrade that we want, which I think we do want to get across these simple command modules. Now that's another 90, but we've still got 45 to get here as well. Flight control, basic science. We don't get a hell of a lot from this. I think we have to aim for the Kerbal noughts, and then we go for science after that. These are all going to be 90, all of these, which is too far away. Got service bays and things, not bad. Getting an aircraft would actually allow us to go into other locations and do things. And that would actually allow us to then use Kerbal noughts. Maybe we do that. Like these are only 45. That way we can actually go and do science elsewhere. That's probably going to be the better way to go. So yeah, let's do that one there. There's a lot of stuff we can build in here. So let's go and research this. It's sort of not where I was going to go, but what we might do is we can now start to bring in Kerbal noughts. So we'll, and again, guys, if you are wanting to have Kerbal noughts, then by all means, like these first aircraft are going to be difficult, to say the least. So I think we're going to be going through the Kerbal noughts pretty damn quickly here. So I'll use Supreme Plague, I think, for this first one when we actually go in. Let's not worry too much about the. If we just go back into the mission control, you've got one more that we can then go and do. Yeah, I've got the parts testing in through here. It's not going to help me much. Sick, you already got one. You already have one. So you're already your bill basically. So if we go back into the astronaut complex, so you're Sick Kerman, which is the engineer. I think I'll probably use you mainly for space, and I'll use the pilot, which is Supreme Plague, for the actual flights, as in aircraft and stuff. So he'll be better at piloting jets and things, and you'll be better at fixing things up in space. So that's the plan. Still got these two here, haven't been named yet, and I can then bring others in as well if anyone does want to have Kerbal noughts for what we're doing. Let's just ditch that, and we'll go to the space plane hangar, I guess, and just sort of build an actual craft here. So we'll start off. What we have now is we do actually have we've got the cockpit. Technically, we could actually build a rocket with this. As well. I haven't built one of these for a long time, so we'll just go and see how we go here. So what we need to do, let's just see if we can get an aircraft that can. Let's fly out to the island and just see what we can do over that side. So with the fuel tanks, we now actually have, this is just liquid fuel. This one doesn't have oxidizer. That's also just liquid fuel as well. These other ones are oxidizer. It's 0.2, this is 2.7. No, this is too small. Now we should have structural. What have we got there? It's a robotics. It's weird that that's in robotics. Oh, these are rotors, turbo shafts for the engines. Yeah, we do have a basic jet engine there. All right, so we do have the jet engine. We want to get we've got aerodynamics. Do we have anything else we can place on this one here? Wing connectors. We do have the those as well. We'll come back to those. Electrical, communication, science. No cargo modules. Starshot. What's this one here? Not sure what that one does. Yeah, I don't know what that one actually does do. Yeah, there's fuel tanks and things. Containers. Command and control. We do have the reaction wheel, which we don't need for these. So all we have is fuel. I don't have any of the actual structural parts here, unfortunately. What I can do is use a fuel tank as a structural part, just to give me a bit more stability. I might have to do that actually. If I do that and then reduce this one down to very minimal fuel, but keep this one at maximum, it will drain from this one into this one here, but this one keeps then the weight at the back of the ship. Now we need a tail. It's a nose cone. We've got intakes, which I will need to put. I don't have any radial intakes, so we'll have to put 2 jet engines on the side. Tiny nose cone. Ailerons. So we can make a helicopter. I don't think it's going to help me. Okay, in that case, what we'll do is we'll end up with. We've got no fins. We've got no. There's a tail fin there. It doesn't have rudder. Tail fin, tiny basic fin. Oh, there's a tail connector. That's too big. It's way too big. I'll go without it. All right, so we need to actually, well, maybe we can use the jet engine and then we just use these other intakes on the wings. I think that will still work. We can give that a go. Now the trouble is I could use the, we've got swept wings back through there. I'll just place it sort of down low and just press X so we end up mirroring it on the other side. And what we'll then just do is go and get the rotation tool and just rotate this one up a little bit, just so we get it nice and level there, but still swept low. Let's go back to the engines. Got the basic jet engine there. I'll just go for, it's only small, they're only really small. It's hardly going to do anything. We'll have to go with 2 two areas on the wings. I have to sort of duck them in up into here, I think. Let's go and place it. No, that's not attaching itself to anything. It's just not going to be enough power. I'll leave that on. Let's just try the air intakes. Nothing there. Robotics, nothing. What are these? These are turbo shafts and rotors and stuff. I need to bring these in. These are not going to quite do what we need. I'll try another fuel tank on the side, like a really small one. These here. Let's just pop them into here as well and put engines on both sides of these. Okay, that's working, and that there. I think I can change the way that fuel works on these craft. I won't put any sort of thing on the tail there. Let's just give that a bit of a go, and with this one here I'll just go and change this to the move tool. Just so it's in a little bit. Alright, that'll do, and maybe just down slightly. So through that wing. Okay, let's give that a crack and see how that one works. We do need to have the tail, the actual what are they called? Not the ailerons. So what else do we have here? We've got wing connectors, nose cones, tail fin. That's the tail fin that we've got. We've got winglets. Winglets can possibly just work in here somewhere. And I think that they can change as well. Rotate them and just see if this one works. And we've just popped some wheels on it, and then we'll get Jeb up and see if this can actually work with everything. So we'll go into the center of mass, which is back in here. The center of lift should be behind it. The center of thrust is back there, which is fine. And that's the center of, yeah, so this is actually fairly, what I might do is I might actually just reduce some of this fuel. That pushes that one back. Pushes it forward by getting rid of that. Center of lift is there. Let's go to the move tool. Just push these up a little bit. There we go. So that will then get the, that's now just in behind the center of mass. So we want it fairly close. What if we go even further? Let's try that. Let's just see if that actually works. And then we'll just go with the wheels. There's a steerable landing gear, which we want at the front. So I'm just going to now press the Shift X just to a single one. And we'll throw that into the middle here. So we can steer with that one, and we want it pointing up slightly. So if we go back into these other wheels, now I don't want, these are steerable, but these are just fixed. And then these are going to appear. We want them just, they've got to be behind the center of mass, but not a hell of a lot more behind that. Why is it so off? I'll move that down to there. Oh, hang on, need to get 2 of those. X. And we'll just rotate these out a little bit so that they a bit wider, and we want them to be, it's too much. That's not bad, depending on what happens over through this other side. Okay, let's get someone in to take charge of this. It's a little bit too far back, but it's sort of, but it means that we're going to have to get our speed up before we can really sort of take off. But having said that, it's also fairly safe because it gives me a reasonable angle before the wings actually hit the ground. So that's not too bad. Well, all we can do is test it, I think. Actually, what I might do is just move them up ever so slightly. That'll do. I would prefer the center of lift to be further back, closer to those wheels, but I think that's actually okay. All right, so we're going to go into there. Now, we do need to have a Kerbal Naut. The crew is going to be Supreme Plague, so which is the pilot for this particular one. I don't think it'll last all that long. If we have a look at his at what he's got, we'll give him the blue outfit, I think. Leave you with the helmet. I think that'll work. We're not seeing it up there, but that should still be okay. All right, let's try this thing, I guess. So we'll save this to what should we call it? Just the X1. Save, and we'll give it a bit of a shot and see how we go. This is a bit terrifying. Now it's night time. Let's just wait for daylight. We can speed up time. Where is it? Warp. Oh, there we go. Warp to sunrise. It's just slowly dribbling forward. There's Supreme Plague. Now I do actually have things so I can actually look around. Let's press C again. We're moving not too much. It's time warping. Whoops. Time warp cancelled. It didn't like that stuff there, but he's still actually okay. He's still fine. So we'll just go and warp to the dawn. We'll just go back and go back to the tracking station. These are all learning experiences. So the X1, we're just going to recover. We don't have any science on this one yet, but we'll just figure it all out. Next. And we'll just wait for the dawn. So this is KSP here. Just do it here, so we can see it. Right, It's getting close now. All right, back out again. Oh, beautiful, beautiful dawn. Here we go. So we'll go back into the spaceplane hangar. Got the X1 ready to go. I think I was a bit worried about those things there, but let's just, we don't have any ailerons. I think that's the only control that we actually have on this whole craft. I don't know if this will work, these tail fins. We'll just have to experiment, I guess. So let's give it a go. We can actually launch from the island airfield if we needed to, but I wouldn't mind trying to fly across there if we can get this thing stable enough. All right, so let's just try everything. W, that's not working. Left and oh, that does work. Okay, so we got that, but these winglets aren't actually doing anything. So I don't have any way to move off. So we'll just go back and revert to the spaceplane hangar. So the winglets are just, they're not control. If we have a look at the actual, what this thing has got, it's got control in through there, but these don't have it. So what we need to do is ditch those, press X just so we've got them symmetrical. Aerodynamics, what do we have? So the winglets, basic fin. Now we do have helicopter blades, we do have elevons. Which we can place there. I might do that. That's going to impact a little bit about the weight of where things actually all are, but that will then just give me lift. And we still need to have something. This is a tail fin. I wonder if we don't put them on the side as well. Let's just try it. And just use that to try to get the control. It's all a bit all over the place, but anyway. Let's just see if this works. Out we go. I think Supreme Plague is in for it now. Now, actually, did we bring a parachute? That's the other thing. I think that he will have one. How do we tell? Just do an EVA. No, there's no parachute there. All right, well, you have to go to the front seat. And there we go, that's the free IVA. Let's just return to seat C. Okay, we're in the seat, buckled in. Press C again. Let's test everything. Go full speed. That's not working, that's not working, that's not working. Abort. Abort, abort, abort. Brake. Do we have brakes? Pressing B. We don't have brakes. Okay, so we'll... He's still alive. Okay, he survived. Alright, so we've got no brakes. That's a problem. Well, he survived, so we can still just, we'll just go back to the tracking station and recover this one as well. Recover. We'll get there. We'll get there. We will learn. Wouldn't laugh too early, sick. You're next if Supreme Plague dies. Actually, we'll probably need to get a... yeah, so he's actually ready for the next assignment. No XP gained from that, unfortunately. Just go and click on done. But so he is back from that failed launch. All right, let's go back out to the space plane hangar. Now, with brakes. Why don't these have brakes? Oh, there we go, 50%. It does have brakes. Let's make that so that it actually does have... Hopefully that will work. The B key is brakes, and it sort of shows up the top as well. This one here we don't want brakes. Steering direction normal. Spring damper, yeah, I'll just leave all that where that actually is. And these are going the wrong way. Not sure how we change that. Remove from symmetry. These need to be pointing up, and they're pointing down. Oh, control, there we go. So we only want them for pitch, I think. So let's make him inactive for that one. Now that's deployed. Deploy direction is inverted. So that's what we want when they're fully deployed. So that should be good. So they've set these to only do for the up and down pitch of the craft. This one here, what I want to do with this one, with its control, actually what's part? Rigid attachment off, that's okay. In this case, we're going to set this one not for the pitch, so inactive for pitch. Yaw and roll is okay, and that's going to be fine where that actually is. So that's good. And then these are going to be. Do I want these for pitch? Yeah, I might have them for pitch. Yaw and roll. Yeah, I'll keep them for everything. That's going to make things a bit wild. Is it too much? Got these different limiters as well that we can actually then go and add into it. Okay, this is a bit very, very scary doing this. All right, let's try it again. Save it. And away we go. The X1. The X1B this time. So we'll just test everything again. Still early dawn. So if we're going to be pressing, that's going to go, that's for, now if I'm going, that's going to be pointing down. Actually, I've got these around the wrong way again. Yeah, I've got them in the correct alignment. These are too pronounced. So I will just revert again. Revert to the spaceplane hangar. So we did actually have these in the wrong direction. I was sure that they were pointing the wrong direction previously. Deploy direction normal. These seem way too much. I'm just going to change them to just a smallish, say 10-degree angle, just to make it much more fine. And it's probably this one as well. Just keep it around about, say, 10 degrees, or 15 with this one. All right, just so it's not crazy. All right, save that one, and away we go again. Now, when I'm pressing up, I'm pressing the S key to try to then have it point up into the sky. So, is that going to work? No, it's still going the wrong way. Still pointing down. No, it's not doing it there at all. It's going the exact opposite way. Do we just use these? Revert. Now that should have picked it up. The other thing I could try would be to rotate it around. Use the rotate tool on this and just see if that actually fixes it. I don't know if it will. I don't think it will, but anyway, we'll just try it again. I'm not sure why it's not wanting to play. I'll blame the pilot. So S should point up. No, it's still pointing down. I really don't know what to do about this because we've done everything we can. You deploy angle. If I go -20, it doesn't do anything. S is still pointing the wrong direction. Deploy direction inverted, still doesn't work. So that's there. If I then undeploy but then press S, it still goes back the opposite way. This is very frustrating. I'm going to have to get rid of it because it's actually doing the exact opposite of what we want it to do. It may be because the wing is in front of the in front of where we are. It may think it's in the front of the craft, but it's, yeah, I don't know, this should work. And it's just not. I'll rely on the back and see if that can just, if it can just do everything from the back here. So just using these. All right, we'll save that. We know that they're actually pointing in the right direction. Let's go and launch. Okay, this is the big test. I may even just land in the ocean and just see if that will actually do it. Okay, and one thing we haven't tested with all this stuff now is the weights, but I think we're still okay. So we'll go full throttle. Nothing broke. Oh yes, there is. X. This fuel tank is leaking fuel. B. That's working now. The brakes are now working. Good. So I don't know if I can toggle them on. Yeah, that's toggled now on. So we can just have them turning on and off. Okay, let's revert. And again, we don't want to just, what we want to do is just do a recover vessel, because that then, the fuel tanks will then can be fixed, and then we go again. So we recovered all those parts. Spring plague, no XP gain from that one. So we've had a few failed launches here. Let's try it again. And this time we get slightly better each time with the with things like the failures. So we sort of, they do learn from what's going on. All right. Shift B. No, that's still just B. Okay. Go Z. Here we go. There's nothing red. It's all good. Lift, 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 lift. You can do it. You can do it. You can get up. You can get up. You can get up. I don't think we're going to get up. Is it launching? Yes, it is. And he just... There's the sun. Look at him go. Look at Supreme Plague. He is happy. He is happy. Well, I'm going to try to ditch into the ocean now. So I'm going to try to get my speed way, way down here. I don't want to go too high up. want to get the surface speed. I want to get really low and hardly any speed. Hardly any speed. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Success! Well done. Well done. Now we can do an EVA here. And have him... You might as well let go. And then go for a bit of a swim. Because you can do an EVA report from here. We can remove the helmet. There we go. You're in the water, so we do an EVA report running. Okay, that's good. This is all tech. This is all stuff that we get. In fact, what we can do now that we've got this craft, you can see that we're actually now picking it up. It's just going to be there for a few seconds. So this EVA report is worth a bit of science to us. Since I seen you, nice happy landing. Well, that's what we needed to do, because I know I'm not going to be able to land on the actual ground for a little while yet. We need to get this craft way more stable. We're still trying to run this report. We're getting close now. Just slowly. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just swim away from the craft a little bit. We're nearly there. 4 more seconds. Just splash down. Come on, breathe. That's now got everything that he can, so we'll just go back into the actual into the space plane. Getting some splashes. Come on, you can get there. B. Can you grab on? Yep, there we are. We're back in. So we can have a bit of a look around. This is actually inside the craft. Plane landing for dummies. So this is our craft here. We can just have a bit of a look around. So we've got the everything happening on the outside. Just return to the seat. So he's now buckled in, being sort of washed around a little bit. But that was a big success, guys. That was a massive success. So Ragazan is saying a surprisingly smooth takeoff. I always end up in the gear getting stuck on the ground and flipping the plane. Yeah, I thought I couldn't stop, and so I was really stuck with what we were doing there. So we were fairly lucky. Actually, this is a big wave coming. So anyway, that's yeah. With the retractable gear, it's not too bad, but the starting one is miserable. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But anyway, that got us sort of where we needed to be. And what I can now do is I can even go and create a rover. But this is let's just go back in and just press C again. So we're back out here, and why can't I click anything? There we are. Recover vessel. So we picked up a little bit of science just from him doing what he just did. So recovery of vessel that survived a flight. We've got no science, but we did actually earn the EVA report. So we do have different EVA reports now that we can go and get. So we're up to 11 science, but we need to get a lot more. And recovered everything, basically. That was a very solid, but no XP. I'm surprised at that. I would have thought that he would have got XP from taking off and landing like that. That was pretty solid. It's now dawn. I have run out of time today, guys, so I'm going to actually leave it here. But that was, at least we left on a success. So Supreme Plague did actually survive that, and I really didn't think he would. I thought that was the end of him. I didn't think he was going to be able to survive there at all. So, but we'll try to do more things. We might even have a look at the science here, now that we can sort of do EVA reports from, yeah, only from, it's okay, it's all just from the surface. So that's not really going to help us. Crew reports, not sure what the crew reports will then go and do. I could have probably done that as well. EVA science experiments, yeah, we'll be able to now do a lot. Not like, but we could even build rockets with the with the jet. You know, so we can actually just have like one person go up with the rockets and actually have them do EVA reports. It's going to actually, coming back's not going to be any good. They're not going to be able to re-enter with those. We do need to actually have a capsule to do the re-entry. And with this particular one now, we actually do have the Kerbalnauts have to have food and oxygen so we can't just leave them out there anymore. They do have, we have to start sort of planning properly when we do anything. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back. I may be back later on today, actually. I'll see how we go, or tomorrow, one of the two. Catch you guys later. Oh, and remember, the game is 75% off right now, so now is a good time to grab it. So I've got the DLCs. They're good as well, but mainly it's the mods that I'm using are the ones that are sort of really kicking in here. Catch you guys later.